Hello, no people yet. So I started streaming on YouTube and I'm just gonna get set up first. It's my first time using OBS Studio. You can't see on Facebook, but I guess I should be silent until somebody comes. Alright, I need to check my YouTube and see if anyone's there. Oh, there you go. Oh, cool. Okay, so 3 people watching on YouTube. Hello. Oh. Okay. I just want to be here for the super chat. Great. Okay. All right. Hello. Hola. Thanks. All right. So this is going to be the Chubby Bunny Challenge. And basically, it's in support of the Voluntaryist comic campaign, what I've been doing for a while. Hola. Hello. Hello. And it's Chubby Bunny Challenge because what you do is you have marshmallows. So for Facebook, I'll put it in frame. And you have these marshmallows. And every time we go up, so you can't really see on Facebook, so you should really go on YouTube. But for the people on YouTube, you can see that you start off with 1 marshmallow. That's the challenge. Every 50, and then it goes to 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then the challenge is to say Chubby Bunny with marshmallows in your mouth. So I'm doing this for the comic, and yeah, so we're just gonna hang tight for a little bit because Jack is sharing everything everywhere to everybody. Thanks, James. Great job. Thank you. Hello. That's funny. Does the Chubby Bunny says this tail makes my butt look big? It depends, but yes. It's the Chubby Bunny wife. Hello. Wow, so many ANCAPs. I see ANCAP flag, an eye for capitalism, the live stream I never knew I needed. Oh. But yeah, I'm excited. And I got these marshmallows. They're from Whole Foods. And I made sure that they didn't have high fructose corn syrup. And there's just cane sugar. So that's what they use to sweeten it instead. From Chicago Vegan Foods. Thank you, capitalism. They're called dandies. That's Jack laughing over there. I don't know if you call it a laugh rather than a meh. Aw. Cool. So, anything to the campaign counts. So on YouTube, you can see there's a link. On Facebook, there's a link in the description to the campaign. So every, amount that we get, and I'm going to write the starting amount here, we're going to eat a marshmallow, and we're going to add on to that and see if which one of us can say Chubby Bunny. With a lot of marshmallows.
I heard some good things so
welcome.
far, so welcome. I just had to share everything to every single place I could. Whew, okay. So, yeah, you explained a lot of things to everybody so far here?
Everything.
Literally
everything about universal
possible
truth.
Thing, yes. Just gotta warm this up here with a little sake.
It's literally warm sake.
Yeah.
That's the best way to have sake, is warm.
I mean, it is. I actually need to heat this one up. I haven't heated it up yet.
I've been missing everything when I was drinking it cold.
That's true. Warm sake does add some delicious flavor to it.
Oh, someone said my boys are here to cheer you on. Or are going to cheer you on. Oh.
What does he mean, my boys?
Your boys, like...
His friends?
Yeah, your friends.
Or his balls?
I was thinking his sons.
Oh, or his sons. It could be wholesome, I guess, yes.
Could be wholesome.
In case there are...
See, look, I assumed the best.
It's for the best. I only assumed nothing but deviancy and degeneracy, as nothing less would be expected here.
Hello to Florida.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, so far, all right, everything's up and going. Awesome. So, where do we even begin? We got to tell people what we've accomplished so far in terms of the campaign.
Yes, so let me write that on the board.
Yes, so right now... we
gotta
yes. So let's see where things are at the current moment. So at this current moment, the campaign
long
is
way.
up to 3,127, which is really awesome,
okay.
62%. So there's only 11 days left here on the campaign, so things are about to get
Who's
really
been here since
exciting.
the beginning?
I don't know,
There's
but there's probably a lot of people who've
Come
been
a
here since the
long
beginning.
way. So cool.
But yes, so yeah, that's true. Oh, you mean my beginning of like the whole comic series?
Well, that's really far.
Yeah, that's really far.
And
There's been people since
I
the
want to
beginning,
meet those people.
for sure.
Those are really cool people. Well, I was just talking about this campaign. Like, since
Right.
we did Origins 3, we did 3 live streams.
Right, yeah. This
We did some
did we do
crazy
Yeah, we
stuff.
did 3. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we've done the hot sauce
First
challenge.
night I got drunk.
Yeah,
Second
the shot
time
challenge,
we did
hot
the chicken feet
hot sauce.
Now
And
we're
now,
doing marshmallows. We're gonna be
Chubby
chubby.
Bunny, exactly. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. So based on where we're at, we're going through these levels as those of you who hear from the beginning before it came in heard about. So we're going to go through these levels, and basically for each achievement level, she's going to do a chubby bunny. And we're going to start with 1 and see if we can get all the way up to 10 marshmallows, which is a lot. I don't even know if you can do that. So.
That would be weird. I would turn into a hamster.
It would be huge.
It's like,
yeah.
do these marshmallows make mallows?
Marshmallows.
Make
now you're like PewDiePie.
marshmallows?
These
That was
marshmallows
Swedish
that the
accent?
women put in their mouths, it makes them a chubby bunny.
Oh my goodness, a top fan said,
So
when is the live stream?
you don't have to read that, it's okay. So in any
do
case,
marshmallows.
yeah, well, we're gonna do marshmallows, right? So again, we're gonna be just going through, and we'll count if there's
3, 1,
super
7,
chats, because super chats are on. So
Yeah, we'll count the super chats as well.
yeah, so super chats will count toward this goal, but we are going to meet each single level. So again, as we go through, it's a little bit easier at the beginning, so we can get this started. Only 50, 50, 50, then go 60, 60, 70, 70, 80, 80 once, I guess, 90, and then 100. So, in the meantime, though, I will definitely have some sake, and we can talk about some interesting things that are coming up. For example, on the I would say, oh yeah, you need some sake too, that's true. So on
It's been a long week, guys.
It has been a long week.
Has it been a long week for everybody?
So cheers, everybody here.
Yeah,
before
cheers.
we get into the
I don't
the
know
thick
if
of
anyone's
things.
drinking,
Oh, I'm sure
but
everybody's
cheers to you.
drinking. So, basically,
Oh, mine's not warm.
no, I didn't warm it yet. I told you. Does that make you sad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
All
just telling them. I was like, the only
I will go
way
warm
now.
it. I will warm
It's
it.
like, put this away.
And then we can get into all the different new developments.
Yes, I'd love to hear and talk about them. Just hear.
40 seconds.
40 seconds. So, what's new in the world? Well, there's tariffs going. Tariffs on China, repealing tariffs from, I think it was Mexico and Canada for steel, aluminum, and something else.
Yeah, the Chinese tariffs.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I saw some comments that were like, they were like, you know, it's okay if, you know, Trump wants to get us off dependence of China. Then that's great. We should have more dependence on people who are allied with us. And I'm like, first of all, first problem, you're collectivizing all Chinese people. Dude, there's billions, literally,
Ooh.
billions of Chinese people
It's
in
very
China.
hot now. Okay.
And they're not one collective mass. They're
Are you
not
sure?
a hive mind. No, because I'm Chinese. And I'm
What are the directives from the Chinese government? We know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Chinese government
what are they giving
is a
you?
minority, so
What are they giving you?
they're telling me to be an ANCAP.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're
psyop.
telling me I'm trying to destabilize
Right.
American nationalism in favor of China by telling everybody they should be armed and not trust any government.
Careful, you're giving out the secrets.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
What
you
would
warmed
a
it,
Chinese?
thank you.
I didn't warm it kite yet. You got to drink what you. I gave a little bit extra, so it's just
All right,
a
I'll
little.
drink it room temperature for now.
Yeah. Well, it's
Oh,
not.
all the hearts.
It's not
cheers.
that. It's not that bad. Cheers. Yes. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to
Now
whoever's
this is
doing the hearts. so many.
semi-warmed sake preparing.
I love the hearts of the so much.
Yeah. I don't even like. What would a Chinese plant look like? It's like they'd be like,
that was great. Wait, what? Chinese plant?
not like a literal plant. I'm talking about like a Chinese spy. Like it's, you're gonna be like, oh, you're just trying to bring down America's, nationalism. You're trying to make America weak by promoting liberty.
Oh, I've got
Those accusations are hilarious. It's like, decentralizing things and power, and having alternative money, and having autonomy and having guns. Yeah, that's totally what the Chinese government wants.
Funnily enough, I don't think maybe once I've been called like a Chinese spy.
Ooh.
But I have been called like a Chinese traitor.
Oh, that's true.
By my own paper.
Yeah, on Reddit.
Where are my libertarian Chinese people to absolve me of that and take away the shame that they're trying to put on my generation?
Oh my goodness.
So, but yeah, anyway, they're not a hive mind, and the whole tariffs thing, I was like, no, government is just picking winners and losers in this case.
Yeah. A lot of people think like, tariffs, like that's somebody else. It's like, no, you're paying that extra fee, you're paying that tax if you want those products, which means, you're just paying more money as if you're buying either domestic or if you want to buy foreign. It's nothing more than a tax to the consumer, so it's hilarious. And the thing is, if they're like, we don't want to have dependence on China, it's like, that doesn't stop people from buying from China. It's not like a ban on China. It's just, pay more. Okay, well, that's not really stopping them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, we need to...
I'm easily distracted by the comments.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't look there. Don't look at the comments. That's your goal. You do not look at comments. I will just point your eyes at funny memes or the screen.
Wait, a top fan, David, said, I sent all the hearts. Because I asked.
That's good, that's good.
Said, take another shot for me. Because
Yes.
I quit drinking to lose weight. Well, good for you.
Good for you. We'll
I'll
take that
gain
extra
weight
drink.
for you.
Yeah. Don't put on the weight. Oh my goodness. So, speaking of putting on weight, that reminds me.
I liked how I talked about tariffs randomly.
And scared Asians. Godzilla is coming out.
Yes!
And yes, tickets have been purchased. I will admit I am a big Godzilla fan.
I was never
Anybody
into
else here Godzilla
until
fans?
you. Not me, until you.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to miss. He is quite big. And, this is one of the figures that have been released. And I'm pretty excited about it. Actually, I've been literally waiting my whole life for a Godzilla movie that was done right, Hollywood style, with a big, monster battle action. And this is the first time, in my opinion, that it's being done, hopefully somewhat right. Even though this is my favorite iteration of Godzilla, but it's still pretty cool. They still, overall pretty good. But, you know. Yeah, so this guy's he's a thick old booty. This new Godzilla is thicker than a Snicker.
Wow, this is one of the new toys.
Yeah, we can actually get up close if you want to show the people.
All right,
show the people.
Whoa,
Godzilla.
Terms, the people.
The people.
We the people want to see Godzilla.
No, someone said the state is Godzilla. It's like actually. The state is more destructive than Godzilla. Godzilla wishes that he had the destructive power on people's wallets that the state has.
There's a lag in the video, so I don't know how close.
Godzilla versus socialism. I don't even know if Godzilla can surmount socialism.
There's a lag.
So Zach Lukowski said, I love the Taco Bell promotion from the 90s. He said the Taco Bell Godzilla. And
wow.
I literally have those.
Wow, he's a man of Godzilla culture
he is.
as well.
I'll drink
Cheers
to that.
To you.
I have those Taco Bell promotions, and I
sake.
will be buying every single other, promotion that comes out, Taco Bell or
yes,
otherwise.
You will.
Yes.
Yes, you
so
will.
I am a true nerd at
That's
heart.
my behest. Is that the word? Is that the right word?
I don't think so. unless you're commanding me to do something.
Room temperature sake and guys.
Yeah, and you're gone.
That's normal.
You should have two.
I could just look up in a dictionary.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, the 98 Godzilla is what Zach was talking about, which is, the movie with Matthew Broderick. It was done by TriStar, and that Godzilla, sucked tremendously. I mean, that was a terrible Godzilla. The movie was fun, I thought. Some people were like, oh, the movie's bad. They like the Godzilla. I'm like, you're weird. Like a lizard Godzilla? No, I want a dinosaur Godzilla. So I'm just excited they're actually getting back there.
And then
someone said the Blue Oyster Cult song. Yeah, that was popular because of Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. Because, in that time period, they were really focused on Godzilla as relates to pollution, which is funny. Because Godzilla actually, and this is going to tie right back to the whole thing I was going to do with comics tonight, which is that mass culture, mass entertainment basically is always dealing in philosophy or politics in some way. And people try to pretend like, oh, it doesn't have a meaning. It's like, no, it does. And Godzilla, the original Godzilla was about nuclear power and the destructiveness of nuclear energy potentially. And then later on, Godzilla became a thing related to pollution in the 70s.
Yeah.
And now Godzilla is, I don't even know what they could do except...
It's hard not to have your bias show when you write a story with characters.
Mm-hmm.
And especially character development. You're just going to imbue your impressions of the kinds of people you've met or know in your life or are
right
into your characters, and you're gonna have a concept of good and evil presented as well. Like, you can't help it, even if you're not consciously trying to be like, ooh, ooga booga, let me like put a bunch of propaganda.
Right.
You may seriously be passionate about, like, I don't know, climate change is real.
Oh, and they did that in Aquaman. They did that in Aquaman for sure.
Yeah,
and in Endgame. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so it's to be expected, basically, to have parts of your psyche or subconscious seep out into your creative work when you're especially when you're writing stories about other human beings.
Yeah. And someone said Mothra felt left out or something, and I'm like,
not in the
wait a second.
Yeah, the trailer coming up. Just look at the trailer for.
Guess what is gonna be in this movie?
You should just watch the trailer.
There's no spoilers here because again, it's in the trailer. So unfortunately, I think they give too much in trailers these days. I hate when they do that. I really hate when they do that. Yeah. And we got another bone to pick too.
Yeah.
For another movie, we'll talk about that later. Brightburn. But
bone to pick.
Yeah. So but yes, Mothra will be in this. Rodan will be in this. I mean, I'm trying to make sure that I don't say anything that wasn't already in trailers and out, but yeah, they're going to have a big monster action battle. So I'm pretty excited about that. And on that note, there's going to be... someone said... Oh, okay. Someone said that PC culture might even kill Godzilla. I'm like, that's true, too. That could be Godzilla's arch nemesis coming up next.
What would?
Is like a giant... pink-haired SJW who says Godzilla, touched her inappropriately or looked at her the wrong way.
When you trigger her, she shakes so much that she causes an earthquake. Like a big one. She's
right. It's like, I'm so triggered. I mean, that reminds me of the Babylon Bees comics with AOC. Those are hilarious. I don't know if everybody saw that.
Yeah.
The Babylon Beat, that was so good. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm jealous because their art was nice and that kind of just little. I mean, it was just like little panels, but it was so funny, so well done.
Concentrate all their wealth into it.
Wait, concentrate what?
A lot of people said ha 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 ha. I hope that the SJW what's it called? Kaiju big.
Kaiju or kaiju is saying a gorilla whale or Japanese combination, and it's their use of big monsters.
Any Japanese people, feel free to correct me.
Yeah.
Or Japanese speaking.
Yeah. Oh, hi. Yeah. Yeah. Someone said Godzilla failed to use the preferred pronoun. Yeah. Godzilla did not use the proper pronoun when destroying Tokyo.
What did you say?
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat her.
Right. Yeah. You called Mothra a she?
It's sir.
It's
Mothra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'll be dead.
That's funny. Okay, let's refresh. It's been a while. How long has it been?
I don't even know. It's probably been 5 minutes.
It's been an hour?
I don't know.
Feels like.
All right, so we're refreshing the comic campaign here. Again, $50 up. We're at $3,127. And it's at the same.
The same.
But, I mean, before it took a little while for people to come in. So, same thing here. We expect it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Someone said howdy from Bangkok. Wow.
That's Bangkok.
Oh, that reminds me of the couple who who had a seastead just for the two of them. Off the shore of Thailand, and they were technically out in international waters.
They were, and it was at 12 nautical miles out, but technically they wanted to take anybody out who, came within there because they're worried about, the Chinese government trying to keep reaching further and further to take over things. But yeah, it's pretty messed up. So.
That's interesting. I thought they, quote unquote, the Thai government as a collective, but of course it's individuals, but at least some people are motivated by, they just didn't like the idea of people being completely free and having their own like sovereign property.
Oh, yeah, that's a part of it
laws.
for sure. Yeah.
And eventually, if as a government, if you let that go, you're just going to see that society start to build. If you truly have respect for property rights, they could just keep building on. They could have business owners and other people, and that would be a threat to their quote economy, because they would be like, oh, I can't like do anything to you because you're in, international waters technically. But it's just a crazy story because this couple had to flee because the Thailand government wanted them, like, I think they threatened them with execution.
Yeah, they had the highest level of possible sanctions for it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. Literally, when you think about it, like, wait, they want to kill people for literally, like, just being at sea and, like, not bothering anybody? That's what's nuts. That's
really
nuts.
And they had to flee for their lives.
Statism is literally a mental illness. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it was just, I think it was, like, some white guy with the Thai wife. I think she's from Thailand.
Yeah, and he made his money in Bitcoin and crypto stuff, and he was familiar
Right.
with, I think he knew about Seasteading Institute stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just helping out here with the link.
On that note, on the flip side, it just gives an idea that how would you build a voluntarist initiative, a voluntarist, like, safe hold, based on property rights. And we were talking about it before, the idea with Roger Ver, what he had about just buying outright a whole island or a piece of land from a government,
Yeah, Free Society was his project, and they were considering either leasing or buying outright land, which would be, obviously buying would be way better. Some crony politician who's desperate enough to get some money in his pockets to, like, come up with some way to, like, get rid of land that's not being used, that the government's under control of, could be a way to start something like that. And I do love those concepts. I do think
it's like
an exit's
Hong
good.
Kong
Yeah.
almost. Because,
right, that was a 99-year lease. But
yes, just don't have a lease.
Yeah,
just
no
be
lease.
Like forever in perpetuity.
Or just outright sovereign allodial title. That's the idea. I mean,
who thought of the lease? It's like, is that just like the best deal those diplomats at the time could just think of?
I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Me either.
Wasn't there behind the scenes.
Not a Chinese spy. I winked.
Someone asked what's going on with those folks, and I'm in a group where they discuss what's happening with them, and the last I heard is just they're in hiding.
Who?
But they don't know exactly. The couple who is trying to seastead. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I hope they make it to safety. I hope they make it back somewhere far away from that government and those very evil people. So
I would love to know how they left. Like if it was by boat.
Yeah, well, they apparently got a tip off. That's how come they were able to escape, without being killed. Is someone gave them a heads up and they got out of there, which was very fortunate. Which is scary. We're in a world where literally there are these people who call themselves the state, and they literally will just murder people just because they're offended, not because they hurt anybody, not because they stole from someone, defrauded someone, lied. Just literally, there's someone living peacefully, and it's like 12 miles away from our government. Oh, okay, let's go kill them. Like, that's literally how sick and messed up in the head these people are.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy. Someone says, that Burning Godzilla? And that's the thing. That could be
dope.
I don't know. That could be a spoiler because I have no idea. That's the thing. These toys came out. I don't know if there's going to be a Meltdown Godzilla, Burning Godzilla, and that's the crazy part, is these toys are maybe giving spoilers, but I don't know yet, so we'll find out.
Can we say where we got these? Or will I give away the secret?
The secret? I don't care if the secret. I mean, you can get it on Amazon or Walmart.
I got
whatever.
all the ones I wanted.
I already bought the store out, so I don't care.
Yeah, like if they restock, it's free game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
who knows? Maybe
Big
it'll be
G
like
fan.
a bunch of modes. That would be cool.
Yeah, we're going to definitely see some interesting things, so...
Yeah.
And on that note of interesting things, so just recently too, I was, talking to people about, if you haven't ever seen this before, this is Detective Comics, aka DC, and they actually, I'm trying to show people here on both screens, they actually had a series with Anarchy. Thank you so much, Brian. So we got a little support there, Brian. Thank
Brian.
you. We can count that toward the total amount.
Let's just do the first Marshmallow.
Okay, you know what? I think that's acceptable. Since Brian here broke the ice,
we'll do the baseline, the control.
we'll do the
text.
baseline, so you can do your first chubby bunny. I'll accept that. That's
so
good. Thank you, Brian,
Thank you, Brian,
for breaking the ice here.
Yeah,
thank you.
All right, so orange.
Yeah, so fill in. So basically, sometimes people are like, oh, is Voluntarist too on the face? And it's like, other comic companies, major publishers have already done different types of series related to anarchy and stuff like that. Of course, as you can see here, their version of anarchy is that it's just chaos, because they say anarchy meets order with Batman.
So it just implies it's
right,
chaos.
that it's just chaos, and they give this guy
this
more
one,
of an Ansock bent.
This one triggered me.
Yeah, right.
It was like anarchy meets order.
But what is cool is that if you can see here, Anarchy in the first issue here actually has like a black and yellow top to his hat because of the shading. Oh, okay. All right, I'll do it too.
Yes.
So you can see it here, folks, for the YouTubers. So you can kind of see the black and yellow there, the black and gold. But I mean, obviously, they try to give him the more of the red feel for the Ansock stuff. And if you read it, I've been rereading some of the comics. There's an anti-authoritarian thing. There's some cool things about that, but it's not principle. It's not really meaningfully philosophical. But it is interesting. Again, it is interesting. But as with all,
it is fascinating.
It is with all comics.
It's like a Thanos, but with anarchy, like the philosophy of anarchy there.
No, I don't think he's that strong. No. Well, I mean that's different.
Not in terms of strength. I just mean like the idea of being able to show like an idea.
That's true. That's true.
Culture.
Thanos is technically a radical environmentalist. He's literally no different than the anti-human Malthusians. Absolutely.
Right, and that's a huge movement now.
It is. All right, you ready? So it's just one this time, and all you have to do is say Chubby Bunny.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
It'll probably be hard. Easy. I don't know.
It's just one.
I can't open my mouth very wide.
It tastes so good.
Really?
It's just one.
Oh.
And it gleeked great. Chubby Bunny. That's not hard. All right, I'm not eating all these.
Chubby Bunny.
Maybe I'll eat the last couple. You can throw it away.
Okay, I can already tell one. That's hard. One
was hard. That's why I said you should have done the small marshmallows, but you're like, oh, I want the big ones. I'm like, okay. Good luck with that one.
I should have done the small marshmallows. Oh, no.
It's going to get interesting on the next actual Chubby Bunny.
All right, I did 10 as a baseline. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. You'll find out if you make it, I guess. It does taste good, right? That sweetness.
Maybe I should have eaten
just pure sugar.
I was like, maybe I should have swallowed.
You could have, but you get sick by the time you actually got through.
Yeah. All right, so we're at 3177. So plus 10, so 3187.
So it said Thanos is behind the Georgia Guidestones. That's really funny, actually. That's really funny because the Georgia Guidestones, like, the world can only support 500 million, which is even more aggressive than Thanos. Thanos just did 50%, which would leave 3.5-ish billion people. But yeah, someone also mentioned the Batman comic with Mises, and that's kind of interesting that, within mainstream comic lore, there are nods to all kinds of contemporary culture issues and histories and stuff, which I love. But obviously, never before has anybody in the mainstream actually done anything meaningful as relates to voluntarism and those philosophical concepts. So that's why Voluntarist is here doing something new that hadn't been done before, even with things like anarchy. And actually, on that note, too, another one of those interesting, supposedly Liberty people is Agent Liberty. So Agent Liberty has black and yellow plus some American flag stuff.
Right.
So y'all can see here, too.
The ANCAP colors. I was
right?
Like,
They're like, what?
This?
Do they know that?
And
but no, they
just bastardize the word liberty like that. I'm like, oh, that's low, man.
Right. So Agent Liberty, like the basic concept here, without giving too much away if anybody want to read it, but I mean, it's been out forever.
It's principled Captain America.
No, not at all. So basically, Agent Liberty was a CIA agent who defects, and he gets left in the desert. Let me rephrase that. He originally was overseas. I think it was Iraq or something like that. And then the U.S. government left him and his buddies, and they had to fight their way out. And then he defects later from the CIA because he doesn't like the fact that the U.S. government didn't treat him well, and he tries to join this group called Sons of...
treat him well?
Yeah, because they didn't help him and save him after they're blowing up brown people, of course. So, later on, right, literally. Later on, he joins the Sons of Liberty, and then he's they're too radical. They're trying to blow up monuments and stuff, and then he destroys them and basically becomes a giant nationalist, statist. So,
Right.
it's one of those things where it's like no matter what, with any comic, with any type of mainstream entertainment, even if they have a rebel or rebellion in some form, they will always have that character either become bad later
Or bow down to the state.
Or bow down to the state eventually, become a nationalist, regret their actions. I mean, they did that in Endgame. I mean, we're past the civil the Endgame spoilers at this point, right? So
I think so.
Captain America was apologizing for Civil War, and now the adaptation, thanks Disney. So even the like nods of liberty they had from the actual comics in Civil War, they just get rid of. So it's pretty garbage. Which again, that's another reason why I'm doing here. What I'm doing is trying to get principled liberty consistently, actually, and none of this like, oh, maybe they have some character flaw thing that makes them bad and makes you question whether liberty is good. It's like, no. We're not playing these games anymore. It's like, the philosophy. It's so late. Philosophy
so
of
late
liberty
That's true.
actually matters and is an ethical norm, and statism is the abnormal, collectivist
the
psychology
intruder.
of initiation of force.
And it's the intruder in the room.
Right.
It's the one that is unwanted, the unwanted guest. It's like, hey, no one invited you here.
Right.
They're like, hey, give me 30% and I'll leave. It's like no different than the mafia. They come into your shop. They're like, it'd be a shame if this fine china over here. I don't know, fine Chinese. Fine China.
Well, they
store,
did that with
I
the
don't know.
Chinese Exclusion Act, right? They kept the Chinese out, but they had an exception for like certain high-end restaurants, and the Chinese like worked through. Oops, sorry, I'm already like losing it. They worked through
restaurants.
the restaurant system in order to come over and become citizens. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
They're like, we'll treat you as humans if you make some food for us.
Yeah. Make some food for us, and then you can come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said that Alan Moore is way left when it comes to anarchy, though, and that's right. I mean, Alan Moore, I do love his work. I like Watchmen a lot. It's great. V for Vendetta, but even with those themes where it's like, oh, he's an anarchist person, it's like he's not a principled philosophical anarchist in the sense of how he develops his characters and comments on the state. He just still leaves you questioning, oh, is the state bad? Is it? I don't know. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I mean, it's just, this tiptoeing is to me just total garbage. And that's why, what I'm doing is so radical, because it's not radical in terms of ethics. It's just radical in terms of what the mainstream propaganda is always doing. And on that note, I don't know if you can call yourself a real comic book historian. No, I'm just kidding. No true Scotsman fallacy. If you don't have, and I'll show this to people here, the original comics. These are comics here shown here from Facebook. Here, you can show that one too.
The story of the
So this right here is story of
written by the Federal or published by the Federal Reserve.
This is the monetary
Bank of
policy.
New York.
Yeah. And then that one is the story of banks. That was put out by the Federal Reserve in New York. So literally the Federal Reserve over, I don't know, like 30 years put out comic books for young people about how the Federal Reserve like saves the economy, and like without them, like nobody would be able to function. So I mean, even the freaking Federal Reserve, and you can look at that right there. It's at the bottom here. I mean, it's flipped around to Facebook. Let me get it up here for YouTube. But you can see right here. Federal Reserve Bank of New York. I hope that comes in clear there for you.
And
but
who would
literally,
control the
they
interest
put out
rates?
comic books. The Federal Reserve Bank put out comic books to convince people of their absolute necessity, and they're saving everybody.
And on that note, I want to say that like it shows that them using comics as a medium of propaganda.
Absolutely,
So it shows that we should have counter propaganda in those same mediums.
Oh, exactly. And
I mean, I personally am attracted when I see like a manga or like a comic. I'm like, whoa, it's just pretty art. You just can't help but see the beauty in the art and just want to look at it.
Right. Exactly.
So we should have philosophy of liberty in there.
Right.
At least.
And they were
So let's refresh the campaign and see.
Let's refresh. Oh, nothing new.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sad. We want to do more Chubby Bunnies here, folks. So if we got to get...
I guess one was enough.
One was a good start.
Enough for me.
But we definitely... Yeah, what's up? We got to do some more.
I do want to try one.
Yeah. But you can't. Nope. Not until the next support comes through. So it's to me it's always been fascinating because I like looking at comic history. I like looking at how statism is promoted in all comics as a norm, and people just accept that and think, oh, whatever, it's harmless, right? It's Superman's just pledging to the flag. The Justice League is just having a bunch of little kids, give over their lives to the state. Like, what's the big deal?
I saw that panel with them doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh yeah,
showed me.
I mean, comics in the past that the DC was being used to promote war propaganda for World War II. It's something that's been going on for a long time.
I just had a thought. Surprise. So, I'm just kidding. But, if to say that you pledge your life to the flag, which I was shamed into doing when I went to public school, it's like, why not say, at least make a pledge that you'll be principled, that you won't harm others, you won't, defraud others, you won't initiate force.
Wait, what was the context? I looped out.
Oh, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, Pledge of Allegiance.
Just
Sorry.
the idea of having children chant that they pledge their lives to this flag.
Right, yeah.
It's like a flag. That's such an inanimate object. And, of course, it means pledge your life to the state as America as a collective.
It was to promote the, the unionist narrative, of course, which was, one nation, like this idea of like always being unified to the federal government for control. I mean, that was the idea, is to like make sure kids believed in this like unified purpose, so that they would always pledge their lives to the state. Yeah, and then David Ballantyne here says it permeates all media.
Oh, is that David Ballantyne?
No, it's not David Ballantyne. It just says David Ballantyne.
Oh.
It permeates. I'm just messing with you. It permeates all media. State propaganda is everywhere. So again.
Yes.
David Ballantyne hits the nail on the head. Literally, it's everywhere, and that's the thing is, it's like being in the Matrix, like with the state propaganda. Like you don't think about it because it's so natural to you. Because since you're a child, it's been put everywhere, red, white, and blue.
In the media,
worship the state.
in the movies,
right?
Everyone just speaks about it. It's just a norm.
It's just a norm, and they think that that's natural because they're like, oh well, this is all I know. Of course, this is natural, right? And it's like the only reason you think that's normal and natural is because the government's been propagandizing this to you since you were 1 year old. Like, I mean, and the way to kind of like think about this to see the propaganda is like just think about how you imagine other people in horrible countries worshiping their leaders, like North Korea or China, right? They're like, oh, well, those people are indoctrinated, right?
Yeah,
they're
worshiping
the state. They're worshiping Mao Zedong, right? And it's like, it's literally the same thing, folks. It's no different. They're doing the same tactics, but you just think your home team was always natural or whatever.
Yes, and the common thread is the ends justifies the means.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're like, look, Mao, he killed all these people, but he ended nationalism. And he opened up China to trade all around the world. So they just say that, because just so happens this ends was okay or whatever to some people, it justifies all of the murders that he called for.
Right.
It's just so wrong. And you're right, it's no different than the U.S. government, the U.S. federal government.
Oh, yeah. They're doing the same thing. All right, let me go heat this bad boy up, and let's see if there's anything new when I return.
Yeah. We should have just had the Articles of Confederation, not the Constitution. Just a treatise. And of course it should just be down to the individual, but I'm just saying.
We? You're a collectivist now. You're saying we, and you're talking about Articles of Confederation?
I meant I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, what happened? 2 shots of sake and a marshmallow and it's over.
Yes.
You're back to your Chinese
when I
food.
have sake, it fills me with collectivist history,
Oh my goodness.
Just kidding.
Okay.
I like how you're like, All right, well, let's refresh the page. And
let's refresh the page. And I got another small bottle here because, that ran out way too fast.
All right. So, I want to see what kind of things people... Oh, 3137.
Is that... Oh, yeah, it is new. Someone did support.
Whoa.
Thank you. Wait, hold on. We got to make sure that they are not anonymous. So, thank you, John. Thank you so much, John R. John R. It's okay. Hopefully, John isn't too offended. Thanks.
Oops.
Oops. But yes, thank you, John R. Thank you so
John
much.
R.
Actually, I think he's okay with it because he's here. He's like, Holy Skycloth is the burning bush of America. Right, exactly. It's one of those things that's like, oh, see, this is going to be the holy communicator for you, and that's where you're going to get your wisdom and knowledge. And if you just pledge your life to this flag, magically your life will be good and okay. And see, it's, natural.
I just thought, I'm reminded of, I read Students of Liberty, an article by Leonard Reed, the man who also made, or wrote iPencil.
Continue. Leonard Reed.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot what I was saying.
Well, I can tell you Leonard Reed, right?
No. There was something. Oh, yeah. He was talking about things. You didn't do anything. But anyway, I remembered. So he was talking about the difference between coercion versus treating others with love. Like, what is your response to another human being in a conflict? Your immediate reaction. I mean, of course, if it's like life or death, like you're going to respond with force and like to stop them, as but in terms of just like, let's say someone's just calling you names, right? They're just like, oh, they're triggered, they're calling you names, they're not like advocating for violence against you, but they're being really mean or really trying to hurt you. Is your first thought to want to coerce them and to use violence against them? And some people would. Some people are like, oh, I want to beat that guy up, he talked poop about me, like I'm gonna beat him up. Some people have that mindset, versus some people have this mindset of empathy and love, of like, what is this person thinking and feeling right now? What's going on? Oh, okay. When I said this, it really triggered him because it challenges his worldview. Well, let me ask him a question and just see if I can get somewhere with him. And that's what he was saying was the difference between a libertarian and a statist in terms of what someone's response is to any conflict. And that's what it is. Any political idea, any idea you have of what government ought to do or not is based on your idea of what humans ought to do. And so if your response to conflicts is to want to control people instead of trying to persuade them to change their life, for example, ingesting marijuana, if you think that that's bad, you should persuade them instead of saying, okay, I'm actually going to advocate for the state to come to your house with guns and just point guns in your face at your children, at your dog, your cat. And
grumpy cat.
Just because you have this plan and I don't like it, So that's the fundamental difference between libertarians or voluntarists, anarchists, and people, authoritarians, statists, people who just want to control others. That's the fundamental difference.
Oh, I think that nails it on the head. Is that exactly what Leonard said? In the article?
Well,
not exactly.
That's a lot of my thoughts. But he had that theme of differentiating, and that gave me thought. I was like, gave me a thought.
Thoughty.
What? Thor. Okay. So, but yeah. So hilarious.
I think it's a good thought. I completely agree, right? It's the idea of how do you deal with things that make you uncomfortable. Again, assuming it's not an initiation of force against someone.
Right. We're not talking about, like, murder.
How do other people's voluntary lifestyle choices, things...
Like being gay or being in multiple relationships.
Right. Yeah, which, neither of those describe me, but...
No.
Again, the question is, why do you feel uncomfortable about what two voluntary, consenting adults whatever do? Like, I mean, it's just it's so wild that people are so unnerved by this that they want to use violence. And that's really the scariest part, is they don't have a good control over their emotional state, and their need to control comes out in, violent tendencies. And people have to work through that. That's absolutely right, yeah.
I had to work through that.
Yeah.
I grew up, public school for me was so cold. And that's where I was getting at, was I was thinking of public school, and then I thought of Leonard Reed. And I just thought, in public school is the place where they have you pledge allegiance to the state and worship your teachers and be controlled by your teachers for 8-9 hours a day.
Yeah.
Don't run around on the playground, being shamed all the time. It was a place of a lot of hatred,
Oh, that in the schooling environment, absolutely.
And the nice teachers that I had, there was still that relationship of authority. I still knew when I was a kid that I can't talk back to this teacher. I am going to follow their rules. I'm going to ask to go to the bathroom.
You're a good little statist.
I was very obedient in public school. I got the straight A's. I craved the A+.
The A+.
I don't know if it was my childhood or my genetics.
You're like, I have this genetic drive for A pluses.
For the record, pretty sure it's childhood.
Yeah. David said he's in multiple gay relationships.
David? Who's he? Who are you talking about?
David Valentine said that. Beto says the party is here now, so apparently.
He's like,
Beto's brought the party.
I love it.
So, someone said, here's a good one. What do you think about Hans Hermann Hoppe?
Hans Hermann Hoppe?
I think he's a good scholar in terms of argumentation ethics. I disagree with some of his views on the state acting as a proxy for people's intentions with voting and borders and stuff like that, because I mean that really, I don't know what, I mean it sounds like Rothbard, like late Rothbard, his Buchananism. It's just basically this idea that he's like, oh, things are getting really bad in Germany here, so let me think about like a way to convolute an idea that the government can do this thing. It's the will of the voters somehow that you've never actually surveyed.
Power is so attractive.
It is.
It's so easy to see how quote unquote effective the state is at corralling people towards a common thing, even if you disagree or find it super unethical. Yeah. It is true the state is a disruptor, and using violence and its monopoly on violence, it disrupts. So it's really easy to think, if I only grab hold of this monopoly on violence and use it for good, everything will be okay. But the problem is,
it's like the ring from Lord of the Rings.
You base it on coercion. That's your problem.
Exactly.
And to have ultimate power, like literally just say, snap your fingers and say, put that person in prison for the rest of their life. We hate that guy. Right. He has dirt on us that we don't like, and he needs to say bye-bye. Yeah.
No, it's true. I mean, it is. It's like that. It's like that
so
ring of power.
The comic.
They're like, my precious state power. Schmiegel wants precious power for.
I thought the Lord of the Rings was a great metaphor for the state, and more just the idea that power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts absolutely.
Right, it gets tempting.
A theme across the ages of humanity. It must have been philosophers writing that down.
The scarier things get for people, the more they, kind of get gravitated toward or caught up in the, I just wish that I could control things and make it the way I want. And if that, means the state's doing it, okay, whatever. But it's just, the problem is that you're never going to have an ethical outcome if you keep relying on a system that is rooted in theft, extortion, and, basically... What? Mass murder at the end of the day in terms of how it gets instituted and how it gets maintained. So someone said, Eric, he said, no, The Matrix is the movie for parallel government. It's true. I mean, The Matrix is good too.
So many movies
The Matrix is good government. Too.
There's so many movies, for example, where they talk about crony capitalists as if that's the only organization that can go rogue, a private entity. Yeah,
only
God
private
forbid,
corporations could possibly do evil things.
Yeah,
My God.
They don't talk about how, okay, who's providing those defense contracts? Who's pushing for war?
Right.
And, yeah.
Or who's getting bailed out? How are they able to do anything? And that's the thing that boggles my mind. People say, business, bad. I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, there are bad people who are in businesses who really are evil. But how can they institute that evil on a mass scale except through government? Because you can't force people to buy your product if you're just a market business. You can't make that happen.
Yeah.
Without becoming a state, because in order to force people to pay you, you have to become basically a mafia and on your way catapulted into a state. So it's just ridiculous, these criticisms when people say, corporations and issues with IP and all this weird stuff. It's like they don't have this power without the government. They rely on the psychology of the government to have that steady stream of tax revenue. They can't make everybody debt slaves by decree or default if you can choose their business. They need you to not have a choice.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for the $1.
Yes, thank you, Richard K.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the support in the comic. All right, yes, please write this down because we're going to lose track at this rate.
I know.
We need to ramp up that support before this sake ramps up on me.
It's 50 minutes in, guys.
We're about 50 minutes in, 50 minutes deep. Well, it's not bad. I'm happy that some people broke the ice. So I'm not gonna be upset about Brian helping. I'm not gonna be upset that people are here helping to break the ice here. Richard and John are. I mean, thank you. So I ain't upset about that. We just gotta push for those next levels. We gotta push for that next level.
Two marshmallows.
Yeah, we're very close.
I said marshmallows.
2 marshmallows. I think like 2 marshmallows already are going to be like, woo.
I got to put one in both cheeks. And then that way,
You will have to put
I
one
gotta
in both cheeks.
maximize the space in my mouth.
Yes.
I don't know how I would do 10. I was like thinking to
I don't know
myself,
how you get to do 10 either.
Yeah, I was like thinking when I got these at the store, I was like, 5 in each cheek.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah. It's a lot bigger in the
should've
mouth
done
than
the
when it looks
little ones.
outside.
They should have done one half size. The other ones were like a 4th size. And I'm like,
I know. Well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But in any case, yeah. So,
Yeah.
For those of you, again, just joining, some of you obviously have been here for a bit. But again, just a reminder, because I know people come in and out. Again, we're doing a Chubby Buddy Challenge. Chubby Buddy Challenge there on YouTube. And basically, for every level of support that we hear, she's going to do the Chubby Bunny where she sticks marshmallows in her mouth.
you.
And me.
If we have enough marshmallows.
Yeah. And
we'll do it until
say
there's
Chubby Bunny to support here. So we're going to be working toward that goal while also talking about everything in, the world and comics and movies. And speaking of movies, Brightburn, what do you think about that? That's a Superman movie where he's going to be
the dark
an evil guy instead. Ooh.
I am very curious to watch how they make the childhood.
Yeah.
Now this is a
he
different
has a
layer.
rough childhood.
This is not necessarily about statism versus liberty as a philosophy, but it's more about like how people excuse or think of children. Mm-hmm. Some people think of children as just born evil and they must be corrected.
Oof.
And they're like they're like
Scary.
correct you, and there are people like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm very curious to see in this movie if they show like a plausible, horrible childhood, either neglectful or abusive in some way. Besides neglectful.
Right? I don't know, because it's like when I
or
saw...
Or is it just going to be like, oh, he's this alien and...
Right. I don't know, because I didn't read up on the backstory
of
it.
Parent. Like,
yeah.
We're both good parents. I don't know what happened. Like,
if only they spanked Superman. If only they had spanked him earlier. He would have not
the problem is
gone and
Superman
murdered everybody.
Didn't get spanked enough.
He didn't get spanked enough. They should have spanked
like
Superman.
4 News on the movie.
But, yeah, I mean, obviously... They got to make something that sparks that. I wonder what's going to be. I haven't read... I don't know if there's any spoilers or trailer stuff online. At this point, the trailer was already kind of spoiling too much for me. I was like, I want to see this movie, but don't spoil too much. But it will be curious to see what happens in terms of his childhood and what they make Superman kind of go through leading up to the horror aspect.
It is, despite all the statism, and this is like what we talked about in our recent... interview with Actual Anarchy, and we were talking about Spider-Man, the more comic feel animated movie, and just talking about how aesthetically it was beautiful. I love the imbuing of comics and the art style throughout the decades. Like, that's really pretty and that's awesome, but the philosophy there, I can appreciate the art, even though the philosophy is so horrible.
Oh, of course.
And it more just inspires, it inspired you to make the Voluntaryist comic series. Like, that's so cool that you want to offer an alternative.
Yeah.
Like,
there's an alternative out there to just, oh, hey, I love the state. And even if I rebel against the state, it's just a couple bad apples. Just a couple bad apples. That's it.
I want to say, I'm looking forward to even more evolutions because I started becoming a fan. It was the issue where it was Saving Snowden, which was a 2-part series, 2-part comic.
There was a Snowden and Assange, right? Part 2. It was kind of like a Futureverse teaser just to get people excited and like what would come later down.
Right, and also a commentary was on what was going on.
Yeah.
And but since I found it, I was like, whoa, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, finally, something that is both aesthetically pleasing. And, there were, the art could have been improved in some past issues.
I completely take constructive criticism. Obviously, I had to improve things along the way.
Right,
but the best part is now it's...
That's how you start,
it's smooth.
Because you're on a tight budget. Something commies don't understand.
Yeah, don't even get me started, because I will get started on that. Maybe we'll talk about that next on comic production
Yeah.
alone is an example. But yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I just love watching the evolution from the first comic and just seeing, your first struggles, just trying to make
Yeah.
it work, trying to like bring to life an idea that never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to see more of it. So, even if you don't support directly, if you want to create a story about liberty that's also entertaining and a movie you would watch,
Right.
Just like aesthetically,
Not like the Atlas
story-wise.
Shrugged Part 3 movie.
I still haven't watched the live
Oh my
action
gosh,
of
I can't-
Atlas
I can't.
Shrugged, any of those. I haven't seen it. I just read a little bit of the book.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people who have tried, and I've learned from those Liberty producers
Cheers.
too. Oh, that was a little much. Gotta heat that one up. Yeah, I mean, in the process, as you know, like of doing the comic and working on it through years, I mean, some of the people who I was looking at and was working alongside at the time was like the guy who did Gray State, David Crowley. Although sadly, it appears that he. Again, it's still up in the air, but he committed suicide and killed his wife and kid at the same time. Left a dog.
His little daughter.
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
Baby daughter. Wasn't she like 4
Yeah.
or 5?
Yeah, that was really sad. And then Pasha Roberts was doing Silver Circle, which was a Liberty-themed comic about, people fighting against the Federal Reserve and using silver, which his comic was, okay. But he wasted all of his money doing an animated film that was... Whew,
Oh, really?
dumpster fire level because he spent I think he told me it was like something stupid like $2 million or something that he spent on it and it was garbage.
$2 million.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you had a budget $2 million and me, I'd be like,
I'm glad. Hey, I'm
do
glad
not
he
do a
didn't get-
CGI, do actual animation because for that price you can actually have something that looks good.
I just want to say I'm glad he didn't get bailed out.
Right, I know, and
money.
that's a part of the market is you need people to make mistakes and not
incentivized to
get bailed
continue
out.
failing like that and
Right.
misallocating resources.
Yeah, no, and that's true too. I don't expect to be bailed out or if I have a failure or something like that, like it's on me. I have to be responsible for the work I do. So and that's an important market function. So I tried to do my best learning from people who had done stuff in my genre and just looking at their mistakes. I definitely learned a lot from people who made some pretty bad mistakes. I'm like, okay, not doing that one, So fortunately, that's part of the reason why I picked the comic medium because it was something I knew I could reasonably within, a budget make decent, competitive with your typical indie comic or even, normal mainstream comics these days.
A movie's very hard.
Right. Doing a movie is very hard. Doing animated films, I would love to. Very expensive, though. I mean, some of you may have seen the American Dream film, which is a film about the Federal Reserve. Yeah. And I talked to that guy. He actually went to my college, and his budget for that, I think he spent $300,000 to make American Dream. So American Dream that talks about the Federal Reserve. You can watch it on YouTube for, free. But it's a great animated short, 30 minutes, talking about the history of the Federal Reserve. It's wonderful. But even that, which is not high level. It's good. It's definitely like Cartoon Network good,
It's
but
like 2D.
300,000. That was like 2008. So doing animated shorts and stuff is crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And I've seen people do.
Beto,
Yeah,
the party started.
Yeah, I see some people do some things that.
Zach.
Oh,
Zach.
Zach Lukowski came on in.
Zach coming in again. He wants
Coming in
the
clutch. Thank you.
marshmallows.
Yeah. All right. So you know what? I'm gonna heat up the sake, and then we're gonna put some marshmallows in our mouth.
We always lower the threshold.
I know. It's like our expectations are so high.
I know.
But I think.
But thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sure, makes sense.
We have some expectations.
Somebody to Zach was like, sure, makes sense. I don't know if it was to the super chat or...
I don't know.
All right.
Either way, marshmallows are going in the mouth.
What's 3148 plus 25? All
You're
right,
Asian,
wait.
you do math.
8 plus 5 is 13. You carry the 1. You add 2. So 3 plus 4 is 7. And then 3, 1. So 3173. That concludes our math lesson for the day. All right, bye.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. All right, the sake has
Dude, I
been
just
warmed.
reenacted all the childhood math videos.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just kidding. Or teachers. 3,
All right, so yes, thank you, Zach. Now we can move on to stuffing more marshmallows in our mouths, which was
Yes.
the goal. From the whole time.
So
And
317
brought to you by the Last Nighters. Last Nighters, they have a great podcast.
Look how, wait, we're so close. Look, 3187. So,
To what? What are we close to?
to just the 50 mark. So if we stick to it, because we did do 10 the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we're at 3173.
Mm-hmm.
So that's only 3.
We had 10, 125, so 36 right there. So we're 14 away. 14 away from the 50. Oh, looks like we just got another Joshua Project came back.
Joshua Project again.
All right, Joshua Project. Look at this.
Hey, you sure you don't want to get an ad, the Joshua
They're
Project?
coming in clutch. Look at this.
You should
All right,
show
so
the 2-page ad from Actual Anarchy. It's beautiful. I love it.
They do great.
And I found out who made the art.
Who?
It's one
well,
of them.
yes, of course, Robert did.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't. Where is it?
Oh, it's in this side.
It's so big. It's so big. It
so
takes.
big.
Well, actually, it looks like we're going to be doing this because I think
Wow.
I see another backer here. So, Last Nighters. Also, now it's Actual Anarchy, but
Oh, it used to be Last Nighters.
or it was Actual Anarchy and 1. Now it's Last Nighters.
Oh. Okay.
So they're a fun
love
podcast talking about movies and doing movie reviews from a libertarian perspective. We were actually just on there recently talking about Into the Spider-Verse, and boy, did we give that one a whirl. So you should definitely listen to that episode. We won't talk about that here because I don't want to get into that again. But
Okay.
but
Oh,
basically,
so 30,
wait, no,
okay.
well, actually, you need to account for something else because it looks like to me, I just refreshed. In addition to that, we have Joshua Project, so thank you. We have Zach Lukowski, thank you for pushing it forward. And
Thank you.
it looks to me
Dude, Zach
like we
always comes in
have
clutch. You guys
Brandon
should-
H. Brandon H. is
Whoa,
in.
Brandon.
Thank you so much, Brandon. So
Oh.
that right there, that is its own level, 50. So that's
Oh.
that's its own level.
Dude, that's amazing.
So we're I think we should count it all.
Okay, so 3178 and then plus.
So this right here is 41, and then we have another level of 50. So we're already past the 50. So we got to do 2,
Yeah.
and then
I should just add these up.
yeah.
That's hard.
Oh, it's not hard.
All right.
We can do it.
30,
We got math
41.
experts here.
41 plus whatever is on the campaign. What is it? 41?
What do you want to know?
What's on the campaign?
Oh, you want to do the total campaign? All right.
And then we add
so we have
41.
3187 and it's 41. So we have 3228.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it got us 41 up. So only 9 to the next 50, I think, right?
Correct. Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Cool.
So
Thank you.
This is funny. Someone said AOC comic images were awesome. The cow farts. I know, right? I love those. Those are great. That just made my day. And I love doing that kind of stuff too. I want to do more of that, of course, soon enough.
That's awesome.
And
So just 9
just
away.
pass this here.
So get a perk. You could get a cosplay hero card. I'm doing voluntarist. So Jack here.
yes.
You see this man? He looks a little Latin American, but he's supposed to be a Southern white guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, somewhat.
Or an immigrant.
Somewhere in there.
Who's not an immigrant in America? Anyway, speak for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to be gender bendering.
Gender bendering.
Trans Jack.
yeah.
Jack if he was trans and Asian.
Trainer. No.
And another
yeah, and
race,
Asian.
And
Okay.
Asian.
Oh my gosh.
So that's going to be the fun next hero cards. Last year I did Volcap. And that's why I'm wearing this shirt. No step on snake. That's what I did last year. But this year we're going to do Jackina. That's what I call it. So we're going to do 2 marshmallows, and then we're only 9 away, so...
Yeah, we definitely need to get them 2 marshmallows going right now. So these people came for the marshmallows.
They did.
They will
Okay.
get the marshmallows.
I'm going to try these.
Do I have to do this? All right, fine.
You can.
All right, I'm going to do it.
Oh.
I'll suck it up and put these giant white balls of goo in my mouth. You ready? Mm-hmm. All right.
I want to eat it. Okay, ready?
You can't eat it yet.
1,
You got to stick it in
2,
there.
3.
Oh, I haven't done that. I haven't done this in so long.
It's so hard.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god.
You gotta use your teeth.
Here's the thing. It tastes so good I want to swallow. Anyway, that sounds so wrong. Alright, so
It's wrong. Ready?
we can push this in. We
Ready?
can push this in.
Chubby
Chubby Bunny. Alright.
Chubby Bunny.
Hold on. We got too many of these to do, so I can't swallow these all. Oh my goodness. And by the way, Mitch V, thank you so much for giving us number 3. Is that number 3? Because you just did 9 to top us off.
Oh my gosh, thanks,
So thank you
Mitch.
so much, Mitch.
Okay.
Thanks
so-
for pushing it to that next level. Because I don't even know how I'm going to do this now.
You know, guys, I appreciate the super chats, but you should get a perk. Especially if you are giving enough to get a perk. You should
That's
get a perk.
true, too.
Especially a hero
All's
card.
appreciate. All's appreciate. We're not going to
definitely
discount
all's
anything.
appreciate, but I also want you to get, something as well in exchange.
Right.
Unless
Absolutely.
what you get in exchange is me doing the Chubby Bunny.
Yeah,
And there
right.
you go.
Well, that's why we're here. Chubby Bunny, or if you want a comic, or if you want a super suit, or if you want comic cards, or if you want a Voluntaryist t-shirt. We have all those things. But at a bare minimum, you can get the entertainment value of pho here, stuff in our mouth, full of marshmallows. I know none of you care if I stuff it in, but I'll do it anyway.
What? I care.
Yeah, you care. You just
Who
want
cares?
You just want me to suffer with you.
Raise your hand, do a hand emoji if you care.
You just want to suffer with me. Zach's like, he already got his perks. That's why he did that. So thank you, Zach, for getting perks too. That's above and beyond right there.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. We got to do 3.
All right.
And honestly, it's getting to the point where
How are we doing that?
you're going to have to use your fingers. There's no way it's going to fit. You're going to have to like stuff. You have to literally stuff it into your side. Like that's how these people get the crazy amount of marshmallows is you have to actually stick it in and then physically push it.
Yeah.
It's going to get messy.
Compress it. Yeah.
But it's going to be tasty at least. And sweet.
Am
While it
I
lasts.
allowed to compress them?
Yeah, so it's going to happen in your cheek. You're going to have to do that.
All right.
Just let me know when you're ready to start. Cause,
Wait, I just need to make sure I'm accounting.
all right.
Okay, accounting.
What do you want to count for?
So 3187, and then we added 50. Okay. So then what are we at now? What's the next?
What do you want to do? I can do all the math. You tell me what you want to do.
Oh, okay. So what are we at now on?
So this right here again. So 25, 30, 41, and then 50. So this is 50 right here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then we had a 50 on the campaign. And a 10. So that was 60.
I just need to know what we're at now.
On the actual campaign. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. You want to do the overall.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense.
I've been keeping track of that.
That's true. We gotta keep track. So
Okay.
3187. Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. Gotta do a little math before you do a little malo.
Well, so what's 3187 plus 60?
Oh, that's easy. That's
Okay, wait,
3247.
7. Oh, 30.
30, 32, 47.
8 plus 6.
3247.
47.
I literally teach
Oh,
math.
33?
32.
Oh.
Because this is 3100, and then you add 60 to the 80, and that's you take 20 away, and that takes 200, and that's 47. So 3247.
Okay. I'm gonna listen.
Don't blame her, y'all. She can really do math. She legit went through calculus 3.
But
Okay.
I always use a calculator.
She's just a little bit too lit. All right.
Thanks for the excuse. I appreciate it.
I gave you the excuse. You legit went through calculus
I'm still
3. I
solving
mean,
this
this is not a
math
joke.
problem.
You went through more calculus in
'cause
college
it's
than I
not
did.
160, it's 60. So I was reading the dollar sign as a 1.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't read
You're just a
my
little
own
lit. That's
handwriting.
all. That's all happened.
All right, ready? 3.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
So 3. Here we go.
Okay. Shoe knife.
Shoe knife. Yeah. I don't. Oh god. I don't. I really don't know how I'm gonna do this later. Like 3 is a lot. It tastes so good though, but it's a lot. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Shelburne. Chubby Bunny.
You should say it in Italian.
You gotta say it too. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. 4. Oh, thank you. That was a lot. Okay.
That's so
Honestly, it tastes so good though. Okay. So Chubby Bunny, we've gone through 3.
Wow.
And I don't know how much more you can take because
That's so good though.
it is so good. It is a delicious way.
But I feel the sugar on my teeth. Well, I could use some
rinse it
water.
down with some sake.
Yeah. We'll have to switch to shots. I don't know if I can handle. If I can do all the way to 10.
Oh my goodness.
I think I'd probably choke here.
Yeah, I am worried about your health and safety.
Yeah, I think someone on the last stream, they were so kind. There were a few. They were like, "Be careful eating that spice," and they were so worried for me. And
Yeah.
when I had the
I wasn't.
When I had the, I
Spice.
think it was the 8th and the 9th sauce that was the most spicy. I felt my heart going like beating really hard. And I was like, is this when I go?
I mean, if it was, it'd be not the worst
So
way you could have
sad.
gone.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. 4, that's gonna probably might be the limit. It's like, let's just up this to 1,000.
No. Nope, we got to keep going with it. We got to keep going. So,
I'll have to condense it.
other things that are interesting coming out in the comic world. I'm excited for X-Men, the latest film.
Oh yeah, I called her Red Scarlet.
Red
It's,
Scarlet. Oh my goodness. Which Phoenix?
Red Phoenix, Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. Just Phoenix.
We were doing that earlier.
Jean
We were-
Grey is Phoenix.
We were saying
Well, once you
different names. I'm tired.
So Dark Phoenix. Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah, it's really cool looking.
Oh, okay. So Dark Phoenix, yes. Dark Phoenix is, I'm excited about it. You know, it's not,
And even the status movies appeal to like base human desires for love and affection.
some of them do,
It just
yeah.
has the,
No.
Some of them do.
Well,
It just has the overlay of statism and worship of authority.
right. This one though, I don't know. I mean, you know, X-Men movies, they've been in decline for a while, and it's a real good question what's going to happen here, because they kind of have to rescue themselves, because, you know, it's a tough sell to see whether it's going to actually be, you know, something worth seeing.
Yeah. Note to self: if you're doing the Chubby Bunny, I guess a note to myself. Next time I'm just gonna use little marshmallows.
Yeah. Little marshmallows may be a
Because I
wiser
could probably
idea.
do 10 little ones, but this is like painful. What if we cut them in squares?
Nope, not happening. You're just gonna have to stuff it in and
I
figure.
want to change the rules.
You can't change the rules. You can't. That's a
I
state.
want to change the rules.
The state changes the rules on you midway.
See, guys, power corrupts.
Power marshmallows.
Demonstrating for you on stage.
Oh my goodness.
Is that
So,
Mitch McConnell? No, it's Mitch Voluntaryist.
Mitch Vade. Yes. So
Yes,
he
Mitch.
brought us over the edge. He brought us over the threshold.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
So at 60, that will get. Isn't that the signed comic for Origins 3?
Oh, you're saying like in terms of
Oh,
what
the
someone
perk.
could do for a perk. Yes. So looking at
Yes.
perks here. All right. So yeah, technically 55, and then with shipping it'll be 60. Prototype animated film cells. So basically, I had worked on with an artist making voluntarist like film cell style artworks with the purpose of just kind of like giving a sense of what could happen if there was an animated short made. Because obviously that's the ultimate goal is obviously I'm going to do the comic series, you know, have, you know, the whole mainline story, and there's other stories, stuff like that. But of course, you know, with anybody who does comic stuff, the ultimate goal would be to get it into some type of animated thing or some, I mean, live action would be cool too, but that's like multi-million way down the road. But I kind of have that as a
The
way to
first
kind of
one
help
you
people
did.
see what, you know, could happen. What's
Yeah,
that?
and the first one you did, the one that came with Origins 2, was really cool. I mean, that's the thumbnail that you have. So, by the way, that's the thumbnail for the one for Origins 2, not the one coming
Right, it's
out.
not the latest
yet
one.
To be made. And
Oh, it's in made, but
oh,
I just don't want to release it yet.
oh,
It's a secret.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Oops.
Top secret. Top secret.
Top secret that we said.
Top secret. So someone said, you signed a verbal contract for big marshmallows.
Look at that smiley face.
See, there you go.
made.
There you go. The big marshmallows are definitely in.
I did, Mitch. You're right.
Yes, so.
And the thing about contracts is you must uphold them, unless you made it under duress.
Right. So Brandon here says, the movies were so bad, like, really just couldn't keep all the same actors doing the movie part. Oh, okay, so Brandon and John
For
here
Atlas Shrugged.
on the Facebook side, we're talking about Atlas Shrugged. Yeah, I mean, that...
Yeah.
Whoo!
I haven't seen the movies, so it's that bad, huh?
I
love the book,
I've seen some
though.
of the elements to it, but I can tell you that the people who made it, who funded it, literally, I read their books, and they had like, it was like originally like 2 or 3 million they put into the movie for the last Atlas
man.
Shrugged, and then when they wrote it off like for the next fiscal year, they said their value was like $0. Like when they were like doing their financials, they wrote $0 for the last Atlas Shrugged movie because it was so bad.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just
you
sad
saw.
though. It's sad because, you know, there are good stories and good elements to that, but that's what happens. I think a lot of people don't realize this, that when you're doing a creative work, you have to work within what you can actually do that's, you know, decent and competitive. If you don't pick a medium that you can afford to do right, you're really just gonna make a lot of people. You're gonna make a lot of people unhappy because they're gonna be like, this, even if you had a good story, they're gonna be like, this medium is, garbage, and that happened with, too many people who just didn't think about the medium that they're using, whether they can do it effectively.
I didn't see the Silver Circle cartoon either.
I have the Silver Circle comic book, but the movie, if you Google, it might be out there on Google, so I don't know if Pasha took it down, but it was. Whew, I watched it in theaters in DC when he launched it. And, obviously I wanted to support him and stuff, but it was a good example of what happens if you don't pick the right medium for what you got. So, Rusty says, what's up, y'all? Yeah, we're here. We're still doing this promo thing.
Oh, hey, Rusty.
We're talking about, what's good and what's not when it comes to comic production or movie production, this or that, and thinking about what medium is wise to use. And, one of the things I saw that was very impressive, and I really like how they do this, is, Comic Story. And if you ever watch Comic Story on YouTube, he does a great overview of past DC comic and Marvel comic, series, and they animate it in a way that I think is great. Like, he just talks about the story, and it shows some of the characters and some of the dialogue, and it's like a little bit of motion. And I think what they do with that is fantastic. I think that's pretty reasonable to do if you want to try to test the waters to that, and that's something I would definitely consider to do. But it's a good example of how you have to kind of pick what it is that's kind of gonna look decent as you go forward and slowly build, and don't over promise and under deliver. Otherwise, people are like, okay, this is no good.
That's great advice.
It definitely
I don't know if
can
anyone's doing comics or anything.
I mean, there are other people who are doing Liberty-based, comics. Actually, I have several people who I know of, like Johnny Rocket, who does Liberty Force, and he did a Liberty-based comic, and I talked to him about that and helped him on that.
Yeah.
Just giving some feedback
Forward
behind
by
the scenes.
Tom Woods.
Tom Woods did the forward on that. I mean, there are people who are doing stuff.
That was neat.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely other people who are starting to do more and more, and I want other people to do it too. I want people to make different whatever art or stories or this or that. I think it's wonderful, but it's hard work, and a lot of people. And I'll bring it back actually to a point you made before, how all these people who are like, ooh, oh my goodness, I have a right to the product of my labor when it comes to anything they do, like commies or socialists try to argue, and it's like. Comic book making is a great example of how that idea is just total garbage. Because in the course of working on my comics, I've worked with 50 plus artists, right? And all those artists get paid, right? They get paid for their work. And me, on the other hand, this comic series is not wildly successful like anybody else. I mean, I'm doing a niche of a niche here with Liberty and superheroes. Yeah. But all those people get paid, even though all the comic has basically been doing is reinvesting and continuing the series, and that's a good example of just time preference, right? The artist wants to make money because they could use that for other things, and they trade their time and their labor for present value. And me, on the other hand, I work and do other stuff, but there's no realization or guarantee of the success of this. It takes hard work and it takes years, and nobody wants to be like, oh, I have to wait 20 years before this becomes successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stan Lee wasn't, he was an old dude by the time that the Marvel universe was getting big motion picture deals. He was old. He worked his butt off for years. It is. It's absolutely incredible.
How he just kept going.
Yeah.
Despite whatever happened monetarily, he just kept going.
Oh, it looks like we're about to have one of a double
party time. Do you see this?
So, okay, we got to read it. So, Garv the Gamer, Garv the Gamer, he says, how do you feel about the mainstream normie schlock that is called Game of Thrones? I personally think the source material has elements of liberty, but it's ultimately reinforcing statism to the masses. Love your comic. You won't keep doing it. So thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much.
Oh, Textation stuff. You're so cool.
Yeah, Garvey Gamer, thank you so much for your support. That's a huge deal. Thank you. That really means a lot.
Tell me what games do you play?
And
I'm curious.
In addition to directly want to address what he's saying here, he is talking about Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones, right?
I haven't seen it. Didn't you watch it?
I've watched only the first couple of episodes. I know a bit about it.
I've just seen the trailers.
Right. To me,
the trailers alone told me enough. It was just worship of blood. Oh, I also read a summary about the plot because I'm not going to watch this. But it was just celebrating blood and like tyranny, pillaging, and worship.
And when you say blood, we're talking about just people using extreme violence against each other
murder.
in the name of ruling. Like, you know what I mean?
Mass
Game of
murder.
Thrones, I mean, I'm not going to call myself knowledgeable on it by any measure, even though I've seen about like 5 episodes. But I mean, from that and from talking to people who obviously everybody posts about it because a lot of people like watching it, it definitely, you know, is in that realm of celebrating, you could say, status norms in terms of a central authority, a lust for a throne. Okay. And that theme, you know, permeates all kinds of mediums. And I think that if you look at, you know, Disney movies, if you look at even what's happened with the Marvel Universe movies, and you have like Wakanda and that throne, you have, you know, Aquaman and his throne, there's always been this draw with, you know, mass entertainment to kind of worship this idea of a need for central authority and a need for you know, being controlled. Like, oh, what will we do without a leader, right? How will people possibly be able to do anything without a leadership, right?
Someone to organize everybody. And it's like, the thing is, you can have organization and leaders voluntarily, and that happens all the time.
Right.
It can come from property rights, like you're the business owner, okay, so you're the boss. Or you can be elected. You can be like, oh, we're hiring a CEO. Oh, we're hiring an executive, and we need them to manage this whole part of our business. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of it. So you do have organization. It's spontaneous. It's it doesn't have to be forced. And like we were saying earlier, the state really is the intruder in the room. Everyone's like trading. Everyone's like, hey.
Right.
Or if they're like, oh, you're violent, I don't like you, they keep away from each other. But because there's at the very least a mutual respect of private property rights, they can disassociate. They can even talk about each other online and say, don't go to this business, I hate this guy. You know, whatever. But
right. It's just the idea
violence,
of people have a social norm already to a large extent. Most people don't want their stuff taken. They don't want to be murdered. They don't want to be stabbed randomly. And Garth, the gamer here, says, again, totally agree about, you know, nature of what's happening in Game of Thrones. And I think John Robertson said, you know, it's all about feudalism. And yeah. I mean, it really is. And that it's a lot of
idealizing it.
Exactly. A lot of these shows and a lot of the comics and movies idealize a strong, charismatic central planner.
Do you know how telling it is that Game of Thrones is so popular? Mm-hmm. People are just infatuated with these like powerful leaders and authority figures. Like, they're so into that, you know?
Well, right. Or just this idea of like there's a throne and it must be occupied and it must be ruled. Just like, you know, comparing Game of Thrones to, you know, the Black Panther movie in Wakanda. And they like had this barbaric practice of like, oh, having a battle to see who rules everybody. And it's like, what is this? Like, you know what I mean? Nothing about logic, virtue, you know, how you treat people. Oh, we'll just battle someone and then, oh, everybody's just going to worship me and follow me. And that, I just forgot her name, but the one lead, you could say, defender of the throne. I forgot her name, but she's like, I worship or I like protect or defend whatever's on the throne. Yeah, I just forgot her character name, but basically,
she's the.
Yeah, it's this idea of whoever sits there is right to rule, and you should just bow down and go along with the program. And I think in many ways, I think Game of Thrones kind of mimics that concept of just there is this central throne of authority and people must be in awe of it, and if you're not, well then you should be murdered or imprisoned or caged. So I'm glad Garth the Gamer both supported, so thank you, and also asked a great question about Game of Thrones and, you know, tying that into all kinds of mass, you know, commentary and culture. And again, it's not like it's not entertaining. It's entertaining. It's fun to watch Game of Thrones, or it's fun to watch, you know, The Matrix. It's fun to watch Aquaman or Spider-Man. I love watching these things. I love for the entertainment value, but I also recognize what it's doing to unsuspecting minds, people who are already bought in slightly or largely into the status paradigm. Or kids, right? It's getting them to be acclimated to a norm of, oh yeah, I totally should be a princess or a queen or a ruler, or oh yeah, people need to be ruled. It's pretty wild. So Ray says he thinks that GOT's message is that no one's fit to rule, which could be, again,
missing all the context. Like I said,
I haven't seen enough episodes, right? And the character development could have led to that point. I'm not expert enough, but I do know that at least in the beginning, from what I saw, you know, obviously that was the focus, is the idea of focusing on who should rule.
I mean, I guess I could kind of see that because the summary I did see, like, all the rulers were dysfunctional, as you found later. People die, get murdered here and there, assassinated. It was like just a whole huge storyline it's seen every season. It was like, okay, new rulers over this and a new battle.
Right.
So
we do now, of course, have to follow
4.
through. We have to do 4 and 5 because he
and
did 100 and we already had a 10 before. It should be 4 and 5.
We'll have to do
Even if it's
math
on
again.
edge, we'll do it. No, even if it's on edge, we're gonna do it.
Woo.
Because it should be only
And you
$10
wanna call
off
it
at
a
most.
night?
No, we're going, baby.
Oh, I'm gonna do the math. Okay.
Oh yeah,
All right.
it's going.
I just want to eat a little bit. It's so good.
All right, you ready? Because it's about to be on. So
I've never had vegan marshmallows and they're so good.
are these vegan? Are these the ones?
Yeah, the skinnier ones.
Oh,
The
wait,
fat
you mixed them
ones.
in, so we don't know which was which.
No, I know. It's the fluffier ones. That's
Oh my
the...
goodness, who knows? All right, we're just gonna stick this in our mouths. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Oh god. Ah. I know. It's like ASMR marshmallows. Chubby Bunny ASMR. Okay. Okay. Wow. I don't even know how much more I can fit, honestly. That's kind of scary. Cool, we have to do another. We've got 5 to do. I'm opening this.
Oh no, I dropped one.
It's okay. Just throw it away.
I ate a little bit though. It was so good.
I know it. I kind of
These are called dandies, and they're really good.
Right.
Oh, Rusty, you said conditioning. I said, oh, that's true. Never thought about how serious anything for
All right.
myself is conditioning.
I want to know that I'm having these.
Fascinating. Yeah, definitely. Especially to the most impressionable, vulnerable minds,
All right.
which is young children or teenagers or adults who are dysfunctional. They're all vulnerable.
Whew.
People that, I guess just people who never learned philosophy or haven't yet. So it's
All right, so we got to do 5 now. We did 4. It's 5 time.
Wait,
Yep.
what?
He did 100.
Wait, 3187. I know, but we were at 3187. And then he put 100, so
Yep.
then 60 we got here, so it's plus 40.
Okay.
So it's 60, that's the next one. So it's 40 out of 60. So
Okay.
we're 40 out of 60.
Okay, I'm in.
I'll bet you want to do it anyway.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do 5. Because it was a good question,
Yeah,
and that was a good pump. So we're going to just go ahead and ramp it up.
A 5?
We're going to do 5. Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, wait, yeah. I actually don't like the fluffy
All right,
ones.
could you grab me some paper towels before this? Because I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to need some paper towels for this.
Yes. 2.
2 will be good, yeah, thanks. All right, so here we go.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, he's like, you hate marshmallows yet?
Not yet.
Honestly, I could really
It's
eat
really
these.
tasty.
It's tasty.
If we were eating
I
them,
legit
yes.
want to eat this.
Yeah, if we were
I might
swallowing
even.
them, we'd probably hate it, but
Okay.
just putting it in our mouths.
All right, you
instead
ready?
of
I'm going
eyes.
to try to fit 5 in. Here we go.
All right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Philosopher nice. Okay.
Fun nice.
For nice. Oh, no, don't choke.
I'm not going to choke, yeah. No jokes, no jokes.
Okay. No jokes?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, good fun. Mm. Hmm? Hmm? Alright. Chubby Bunny. That is delicious. Honestly, it's a lot to take.
No, I eat it.
I want to like eat it, but
Yeah. Thank you.
It barely fit. So.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So where we're at now.
Wow. Okay.
So we.
That was kind of scary, actually.
That was.
It is a little scary once you get to that level where it's like, okay, this really fills everything.
I know. I don't even know.
I've seen people do some crazy ones, though. I've seen some crazy stuff. I just don't know if we can do the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We'll find out. If it hits a safety level, we'll have to do shots instead of replace, but...
Yeah.
Because you can't have you dying. I can't have you dying.
So the new... I think it's still at 3187, so we
Probably.
just add 150 to it.
Yep, 3187. All right.
So plus 3287.
So we should be crossing these off too, because we need to cross off the levels we've done.
Oh, right. What is 3287 plus 50?
wait. 3287 or 3187?
Oh, I added 100 to it.
Wow. So it is 3287 plus 50, or is that what you're asking?
3287 plus 50.
Oh, okay, so that's 3337.
Math teacher. 30. Math teacher.
I do math all day,
Asian.
every day.
Who wins?
Right.
The math teacher, because I use a calculator. All right.
That's true. They didn't give us calculators. They didn't let us use calculators until 9th grade, and even then it was sparingly.
Yeah. Oh, I like that you had us cross it out. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are at...
We're about to be at 6 marshmallows deep next.
Marshmallows. Okay.
So are we keeping these levels as they are, or are we? Because 6 is 70. We're going to stick to that?
Oh, right. So we need to add 70 to this.
Yeah, because we rearranged it just to get things going, as we often do sometimes.
Okay, so what...
You know.
So 70, that's 3, 4...
So you want
0,
a 63?
7?
You want to just make a 63 to make it a hard 3, 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can do that. Well, make it 63, so it gives us 3,400.
Okay.
Polaris, it's still live streaming? Yes, we are still live streaming.
Okay, so that's 3,400 or plus 63.
All right.
That is 70. Okay.
That is so good. Warm sake definitely helps make the marshmallow sweetness that much sweeter.
Oh, really? I haven't tried them
Here.
together.
Well, it's just because the sweetness after sake is just that much, more delicious.
Oh, it's like with warm milk. Chocolate milk with marshmallows.
Oh, that could be good too. That could be good too. So, yes. So, new topics of interest. Some people were talking about all kinds of interesting things. I mean, it depends on how juicy you want to get, but...
Oh, Travis is watching.
Yeah. What's up, Travis? He's watching.
Hey, Travis. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Right, so that's an example. So he's been in some movies and stuff, like liberty-oriented movies.
Oh, yeah.
With,
when is that coming
David
out?
West.
I want to see it.
So...
I supported it.
Yeah, and the people who actually... There's a group called Motion Picture Institute, for anybody who hasn't heard of them. And they actually support... They're not-for-profit that's built to support liberty-oriented movies. I've never done anything with them personally, but I've seen what they do. So if you ever were in that creative realm and you're like, ooh, how can I get some help or, mentorship? I know Motion Picture Institute's a good one to check out. For me, it doesn't work because obviously I'm doing comic stuff. It's not the same thing, but... But yeah, finally, yes.
Someday, that'd be cool.
Did we talk about... Wait, did I already talk about the commies and the paying people? Yeah. Like, just the idea that they're like, entitled labor and, like, the time... Yeah, I already did that. I was like... Those last 5 marshmallows really took a toll.
Oh, okay. I actually forgot. I thought you didn't get a chance to yet.
No, I did. I definitely did. But yeah, no, it's a good reminder, whenever you do these kinds of things, that the diversity of human wants and needs and interests is so robust and so big that people just don't get why you need free markets. Like it's a very important function because people are having constantly changing interests in this or that, and if you don't have the ability to just adapt through price of the market, that's how you get that massive stagnation with central planning. And I'm very thankful that I have the freedom to be able to do this kind of stuff. Otherwise, could you imagine having to ask the government permission to do anything creative? And that's the case in actually some of the more authoritarian regimes.
And pay the bureaucracy that does the approvals.
Right. I actually just...
All that money going to waste. All that money just going to a bureaucratic stamp process.
Oh yeah, and people think that like people in America
ridiculous.
think that's like weird, and they're like, what, like doing something creative and you have to get approvals. Like that was actually quite the norm. Like USSR and stuff, like you couldn't do anything creative unless you got government.
Please.
Yeah, you couldn't do anything creative unless you got government approval.
It's papers.
And that reminds me too, Daniel Berman, a taxation staff. We had a conversation with him, and he told us how I think it was Uganda, that like there were some people trying to orchestrate an event for free markets and stuff, and they actually have to get a permit from the government to even have a meeting, which is crazy. Like when you think about that, like can you imagine like, oh, if you want to go meet with like 5 friends, even to play like a board game, you literally need a permit from the government because the government bans having meetings. I think it was Uganda. If I'm wrong, then it's Nigeria, but I think it was Uganda. I'm pretty sure because
Somewhere in Africa.
Well, I mean, Africa is a very big continent. There's lots of countries, but it was one of those two, jogging my memory. And someone could just Google this. I could Google it too. I'm pretty sure it was Uganda. They had to ask permission. And in fact, because their government is, of course, so inefficient and corrupt, he also told me that...
Well, basically, aren't they afraid of people meeting and conspiring to take down the state?
Of course. They're absolutely,
they're
terrified.
Where's your papers?
Because they're so evil. They're so corrupt.
They give justification to invade your home because, like, you're conspiring against the state because you wrote it on a piece of paper and made it the, quote, the law of the land. Mm-hmm. If you violate it, then we have justified use of violence.
Right.
That's how they twist it. It's no longer self-defense with the state, and that's the perversion with statism. They always use rhetoric of liberty,
insurance, in case anybody smells your shit, like literally. Like I mean, it's like
oh, that's a better
right. It's like it's so ridiculous, and like
I was like, where did they do that?
He told me that in response they were just so corrupt,
and
I can't even do anything. It's just crazy.
It is.
And Race says China has a Ministry of Culture. And it's like yeah, exactly. They literally have people who do their propaganda or hunt down people who they don't like. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Mitch here says Roger Ver was trying to create an Ancapistan, right?
We were talking about that earlier.
Exactly.
I haven't heard anything much in a while.
Not recent, no.
I looked at the website as well. There wasn't a new update. So
the hard part about all that, and I love the concept of
negotiating to politicians' self-interest.
Right. Right.
So you have to find that politician in the right government where other governments would recognize it as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, right, and that's a big part of this is that they're trying to find a way to actually purchase land outright and like create something. And to me, that is actually the most realistic option. I think that people who really are principled libertarians, voluntarists, and so forth have in terms of exiting the state. Because I don't really see a meaningful exit, with the federal government. I think those people are genuine, hardcore psychopaths who would literally rather, drop nuclear bombs on major cities than actually give up power.
There needs to be a liberty enclave.
Right. People need to actually just exit, and I completely agree with that. And I think Liberland, is doing a good job with that concept. I think the area, the land is not horrible. A good place. It's not a good place, but the idea of doing something like that is good.
Countries.
Right, yeah. And it's just not a really good location.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, building really liberty and the culture for liberty requires... Oops, it's trying to reconnect. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
So it requires people actually thinking about how to meaningfully exit. And someone here was mentioning, crypto and Bitcoin and other stuff. And it's true. It's just one among many ways of thinking about how to exist outside of the state. And that takes a lot of people electing to leave and thinking about how to build something new. I think, Seasteading Institute definitely is doing that kind of concept. Patrick Friedman, who's Milton Friedman's grandson, he's doing that kind of thing. But yeah, it's that's how we're doing this stuff. Is the cultural liberty definitely needs to change and move people enough to the point where they're actually willing to associate based on those virtues and those principles. So,
right. Yeah. I heard different articles over the years of different people buying up a huge city, like an abandoned city or something, but they have the money to build it up again. Mm-hmm. But they buy a whole city and it's technically sovereign from the state. Actually, I don't know if it's sovereign outright
if you're buying it just a city. Like, I mean,
I don't know actually.
I don't think that the U.S. government would take kindly to that one.
True.
Yeah.
Sure.
Although it is crazy. I mean,
what
to
if
me,
the U.S. government's out of the the list of governments you try to negotiate a deal with.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, that's crazy.
They're
I don't even
dirty.
know. Like
They
to me, it
play
boggles
dirty.
my mind that the U.S. government, in some respects, still respects some tribal, treaties. Like to me, it's like that's like bizarre world
I know,
that they even
that's
respect some of
true.
those things is crazy because of how violent the history is
I know,
in
that's
treatment
very
of
interesting.
people who are Native Americans. So yeah, that actually reminds me of a discussion we were having the other day in some threads on the internet where everybody is. Talking about like Native Americans, and I think we had this conversation before too, how people were trying to treat it as a monolith, and it's like you can't treat the Native American experience as a monolith. There are different tribes and different people and different interactions with
Yeah.
different groups of different kinds of settlers.
It's
Like,
just another example of people
Yeah.
treating a group of people as a monolith.
right,
They treat the state as a monolith as well. They treat business owners as a monolith. They treat rich people, Asian people as a monolith, and it's not. It's made up of individuals.
right,
So, and there were Native Americans who were violent, who initiated violence on innocent people who were just trying to live their lives,
right.
And on the reverse, there were innocent Indians who were murdered.
Yep.
So, again, it's just not all the settlers, the early American settlers, were evil and violent, and it wasn't all Indians that were, and not either side was all innocent. So
Right. And a lot of people miss too
it's
how
not a collective. It's not one hive mind.
right. How
That's why I'm not a communist spy.
right. I swear I'm not a communist spy. Right. It's hilarious. But that's a reminder too.
Just see.
I know. Did you?
I just see on your Facebook. That's funny.
Yeah. There's a picture of Sterling Newhunt. Anyway, so the people who came over to the U.S. were themselves refugees, which is funny. A lot of people don't think about it like that because, they're used to the typical textbook definition of, oh, they were colonists, they were settlers or something, or imperialists in some,
But a lot of them are actually
some ways.
escaping religious
But
persecution.
many of them actually, the original, white Europeans who actually settled permanently, not just the Spaniards who were there to, get gold for the queen, were refugees. They were legit refugees. They were escaping persecution for their Christian beliefs because they were Protestant and, Catholic Church. They kind of had a clash there. So you had Quakers.
Yeah.
You had Methodists, Lutherans. You had a bunch of different people who were coming over to America to escape that persecution and start a new life. And they were effectively refugees, from, European oppression in the religious sense. So, a lot of times people forget that.
It's a crazy history, huh?
It is a crazy history. People forget that.
All the bloodshed fought over, no, this is my God, and he said, this is my land.
Right, yeah.
I don't know why all the impressions I do is of some Southerner.
You should just
not trying to do a stereotype.
Right,
it's
that's not a
just
stereotype. They're
it's
smart.
the only accent I can
Very
do.
smart.
Yeah, it's the only accent.
Outside of black or white fallacies, they struggle to be, to be like, okay, there's more complexity to this than just, oh, they're all good and they're all bad. These are savages and these are the heroes.
Yeah,
So-
or like saying all immigrants from third world countries are low IQ and stupid and unable to
Right.
understand liberty. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
that is a huge generalization of a bunch of individuals. It's like,
Oh man.
just don't have the incentives to attract people who, don't have the government with welfare programs. Don't have the government fund immigration. Because now you're incentivizing people to come over and having people come over who wouldn't otherwise have had the means to. And it's just government once again.
Right. I mean, and that's a good point.
Redistributing.
Actually, just read an article the other day that and it was Broward County, Florida, that they were taking in through taxpayer dollars refugees, from Mexico or wherever they came from.
I wonder if it's just from Broward County or if it's
It was
like
both
the
Broward.
state of
It was Broward and
Florida.
Palm Beach County. So basically,
so they use county funds.
yeah, so they're using their taxpayer funds to house refugees from Mexico or probably from Haiti and stuff like that. But the thing that people miss with
flying
these
them
things, right, is that these are
In mass.
there's a difference between immigration in terms of people voluntarily funding themselves, and the government actually funding it and being like, oh, the government's paying for buses, the government's paying for planes, the government's paying for tents, the government's paying for food. There's a big difference. You know what I mean?
Right.
You could be like, hey, people should be free to travel, as long as it's, otherwise unowned or open to everybody property.
Right. And this
and
could happen
the
in the
government
free
stealing.
market. Private people being like, oh, there's a mass of people moving, I want to donate. But the difference there is those individuals who are giving their money, they're doing so voluntarily. It's not forced from them. And those who don't want to fund that migration for whatever reason, maybe they need to save, they're not forced to. And then so any risk or anything like that fall on the people who chose to pay.
Right. Someone just said that I need a bigger Godzilla, so you know what? If y'all gonna be like that.
Challenge.
Y'all just got.
Whoa, Daniel's the top fan. Need bigger Godzilla. Rusty said, if no one is sitting in the Iron Throne in Game of Thrones, who will build the roads? The dragons? I don't think so. That's funny. I mean, I didn't see Game of Thrones, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the king or something telling the people, the quote people, or paying people. Oh, that's huge.
I do that all day. All day.
You can't see it on Facebook, but if you go to YouTube, you'll be able to watch.
The Facebookers who.
Oh, it's so big.
It's so big. My God.
How big I can be. Oh, and your Mothra. Challenge accepted.
Mothra. This is Mecha King Ghidorah.
Oh.
If I want a Mothra, I'll bring in a Mothra.
I told you guys I'm new.
Yeah, new to the Cajun world.
Godzilla.
I'm going to take this back here.
Thanks. I accidentally went full screen.
Yeah, you shouldn't have known, but I'll take care of it.
Alright, let's see the
So yeah, you know what?
We've done so much. Thank you guys so much for just hanging out on a Friday.
Yeah.
It'll be cool to meet you guys someday. Or maybe do VR someday.
That's true, yeah.
That'd be
Virtual
cool.
reality is going to change everything in terms of
like concerts,
people meeting and stuff.
Meetings,
soon enough,
events,
virtual reality is going to be as ubiquitous as your internet and your cell phones.
And to all the programmers out there,
Yeah.
if you want to do VR, focus on having unmonitored channels for VR, so that volunteers can convene privately.
So, Adrian says, love collecting Godzilla
cool.
figurines.
Hey, Adrian.
If you like collecting Godzilla stuff, I am a huge, big time
You should see his
Godzilla
collection.
fan. I
There's
definitely
a lot.
have an enviable Godzilla collection. But I do have a lot of smaller stuff, and I have some big stuff too, but I do need to get more of the big vinyls. I'm a big fan of that. And actually something I do want to do too for Voluntarists, get more of that kind of big level action figure stuff. But yeah, that one's a Godzilla 2000. So,
okay, so I'm gonna say we have been live streaming for almost 2 hours. It'll be 2 hours and 14 minutes.
Yep.
So we'll just end it in 14, and we'll just hang out for a little bit, and we'll just see how it goes. Maybe we'll be able to eat 6 marshmallows.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
6 marshmallows would be quite interesting.
Yeah. So this campaign, I want to say that it's really exciting, the perks that have evolved. I feel like we've started 9 different topics. I don't know how people listen. No, I'm just kidding. But I started 9 different topics.
You did start a different topic.
But one of the things I really appreciate and love about having joined the Voluntaryist comic, even though it was 5 issues in already, I definitely looked back and became a fan. I love having seen the evolution of perks. It's cool you have a T-shirt now that has Jack, in the you see those Superman, Batman ab shirts, and then you can look like you're
muscle
in the
tee.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. How do we have more of the philosophy of voluntary human interactions and liberty in these mainstream mediums? And I just love seeing that you're doing that. You have figurines, you have a prototype animation cell, so it gives you a little taste of what it'd look like if Voluntariist was a cartoon.
Right, yeah. And actually, let me grab that really quick so you can actually see it.
He hit the thing that stops the door.
The door stopper?
Yeah.
Here.
The cup socket.
It might be hard to see, but we'll try. So you can see right here, this is just like the animated film cell. You can see this original prototype. It was sent to some of the backers from the last campaign. Actually, quite a few of the backers. And I'll show it to the Facebook here too.
Oh, perfect! You showed it up. You showed it up.
I showed it up. So yeah, this is a little bit closer view of like just an animated.
Ooh, show the back.
Prototype cell.
That was the last cosplay. So that's the other perk as well.
Oh yeah, because you're doing cosplay. This is the past cosplay.
Yeah, this is the shirt I'm wearing.
And she's
this
wearing
for
that
Volun
too.
Cap.
So again, this is the past cosplay. There's a new cosplay coming out, of course, with the Gender Bender Voluntaryist for this
Gender
issue.
Bender Volunteer. I love my suit. On my Patreons and subscribe Starians or Bitbackerians got to see the me in the suit already, and it's, I don't know, I really like it. It's form-fitting, and it doesn't look guyish at all. So, yeah, we had it custom made to, be a feminine body. I'm glad that that's not illegal to say yet. That I can still say feminine versus masculine, and that there's a difference. And, yeah. General characteristics. Anyway, so, yeah. So that's exciting, and I'm really excited to do that. Voluntarist, so Jack, he has energy blasts, and Jack can tell you all the details, but he has energy blasts, and he doesn't, I don't think he uses guns. I guess he does in the beginning until he gets more comfortable with his powers, because it's much more powerful than the guns.
Are you trying to reveal stuff about the universe?
What?
The comic universe?
Well, we did. If you read Origins 2, you would have seen like the powers that he had.
There's definitely some foreshadowing of things to come.
Yes.
Oh,
Zach! I've got another
50 if we got Cherry 6 ghost peppers. Holy poop! I don't know that I got 6 ghost peppers, but
I don't have ghost.
We have
peppers.
hot sauce, and we could put hot sauce on marshmallows.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
That'd be so painful. Oh my gosh.
What if we did 6 drops on the marshmallow? See, that's more manageable. Woo. And then try to say Chubby Bunny while it's spicy.
That would literally be terrifying. I would do it though.
Someone said modern Renaissance. You're evil, Zach.
Zach is in. All right, I will do 6 for Zach. So.
Oh, Adrian said, "Do you have any of your shirts in tall sizes? I'd love to rock them in my music videos." Oh, I think
yes,
he's talking
Adrian.
about the Jack.
Yes, actually. So Adrian asked about the voluntary shirts. Yes, we actually have them. Literally from I think extra small all the way up through XXL. So you can get the Voluntaryist shirt, like the cool front and back muscle cool tee that would look legit in a video for sure, easily. So definitely, if you want to support,
I didn't know there was a size tall though.
Well, I mean, tall, like if you're looking for like just a larger shirt size, definitely that what I mean, like
yeah, it
definitely would cover all the way down,
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And their sizes, this particular company runs, I think it seems like a size larger than what you normally would get. Like for you, you're
it definitely runs a little bit looser. So yeah, you can definitely get that size shirt, no problem.
Right.
But you better grab 6 marshmallows.
Okay.
That's me on.
All right.
All right, I'm doing it. Zach's putting it in.
Bit.
So if Zach put it in, I'm gonna put it in. So here we go.
Okay.
So let me see here.
Is that a dumb?
You can
starts to lurk. John. Hey, John.
Oh goodness. All right, so here we go. We got 6 of these for the next Cherry Bunny. I gotta do this right, because otherwise it's gonna be painful.
All right, shoe nice.
Shoe nice.
Got a channel shoe nice.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay. 1. 2. Okay.
Hold on.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know if I can fit more than that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I don't know if I can fit more
I
than
had
that.
to eat a little piece though again.
I gotta want to eat one, yeah.
It's
I
so
can
good.
over one.
I just ate one.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Cheers.
Alright.
It's been a consistent like
Okay, eat
35
one.
people, you know?
Alright, you one.
Are we gonna one day?
Mm.
You know, guys, I want to do more.
It's good, but I
Liberty
can't
events.
fit. I don't think I can fit more than 6 without dying.
I know.
Real talk.
Probably I would choke.
Yeah, you would definitely be dead.
Oh, so good though.
Alright, so now we know your limits.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's 6 more minutes. I just want to say that I really enjoyed this time. And I don't know if it was 30 people consistently, but go to more events.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I want to go to Pork Fest at least once.
Uh-huh.
I want to go to Anarchapulco at least once. FeeCon.
Mm-hmm.
Students for Liberty International, or ISFL.
I've been there, yeah.
Yeah, there's
We have good marshmallows.
Freedom Fest. Yeah, those are really good.
These are
They're
really
called
good.
dandies. They're really tasty.
Gotta recommend these.
Vegan, all natural marshmallows.
Yeah, not
the
that we don't
free
eat meat,
market
but-
provides. Enjoy capitalism. I love capitalism.
Yeah.
Seriously though, I'm not being cheeky. I love capitalism. I love free trade.
If you want to switch up, we could just switch to sake shots now.
Yeah, let's just do like 6 shots. Sake shots.
Yeah, we just discovered that marshmallow limit, about 6 before I'm seriously gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too. You definitely gonna die. I could eat those all day, but I want to try to make a sake option.
I'm gonna be a chubby bunny if I
I know,
eat
right?
all of
I
these.
seriously am tempted, though. I'm tempted right now. It tastes so good. If you tasted these marshmallows, you'd be like, okay, I can't stop.
Yeah, they're the best.
Whole Foods right there.
We got the other brand because we realized, we don't have enough.
Yeah.
Because we had to do the factorial and
Yeah, we
You
had
know,
to
1
do
plus
the
2
math
plus
of how
3.
many of these we had to put in our mouths.
yeah, so it was like 55
Like, oh, whoops.
just for one person. And we're like, there's only 40.
Oh my god.
So these big and fluffy, generic Publix brand, like, they're just not as good. And
No,
I
they're
feel
not.
the sugar like going into my teeth. Versus this is more.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's heavenly.
It's harder, like not like hard, but like it has some texture.
All right, I'm gonna heat this sake up.
And I hate that
And
sake.
we'll switch it up
We're
to
hang-
sake shots now, so you don't die.
Okay. Oh, I thought we were gonna hang for a few more minutes. We
Yeah.
did it. We did. 6.
We will die. So death is not an option here. So we're gonna switch because we realize more than 6 and it's over. It's lights out.
Yeah. So the shirt's really
All right.
cool. I
So
love the
instead,
shirt.
we'll just do. I'll make a semi-less phallic symbol thing here. All right.
Oh, that's a lot less foul.
So we'll just do it based on support.
Okay.
So in other words,
Just every person.
right, every support, whether it's so,
Don't say it. One
What?
penny.
no, not what.
Except, okay, we're making exceptions.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's not ethical principles. We don't make exceptions to those.
We don't make exceptions. That's
Murder's always murder. There's no exception.
All right. Yeah, that was.
Murder's always wrong. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know what Big and Fluffy reminds me of? This one comedian named Gabriel Iglesias. He's like, I'm Big and Fluffy. He was so funny.
Yeah. Apparently, he's still friends with Shaq, according to.
What?
Yeah, because he said that on the Hot Ones
Oh,
challenge.
he did? Oh.
I would actually.
that.
Would you eat hot sauce on a marshmallow? Because I would totally do that. I don't know.
Oh,
I'd
dip
try that.
it?
I would
Okay.
dip a marshmallow on hot
And that
sauce.
the 8, I think it was number 8 that was super spicy.
Oh, the 8 is it's the death sauce. It's 1,000,000.
Someone said, what about the top? It should be bigger.
Which top? Oh yeah, it probably should be, but All right, so instead we're just gonna do based on pure support. So whatever it is, Indiegogo or super chats, your shots. Do you want to try the hot sauce on a marshmallow?
Yeah.
You would try that?
I split it in.
Oh my god!
Zach, who are you flying over in a private jet or something? He's like, all right, drink up. You making money on crypto? You want those crypto millionaires?
All right, how about this? Number 8 from last time.
Yeah, I think it was. Was it the
It
ghost
is number
pepper?
8. Oh yeah.
The ghost pepper?
Is that not the 1 million Scoville?
Yeah, 1
Yeah,
million.
that's it. That's the one.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Zach's like, drink up. Oh, well, he said drink up.
Well, you got to drink, but we'll also do the hot sauce marshmallow challenge that has never been done.
All right, let's do a cheers for Zach.
Cheers to Zach. Thank you so much. Woohoo.
We're taking you out to like some fancy steak dinner or something.
Eventually.
Next time we see you.
Next time we see you.
Something.
Yes, and thank you so much, Garved Gamer. Much appreciated.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Nice.
Woo! I don't even know. Marshmallow and hot sauce? I don't know. But this is 1 million Scoville.
Next supporter. This
and it's
is hot
actually
sauce.
1 million Scoville.
This is really hot sauce. Next supporter.
It's real hot sauce. This is not baby hot sauce.
No, I'm putting my foot down. 1 supporter. That's it. And you tell me in what you support if you want a marshmallow dip or a shot. It's one or the other.
Marshmallow shot.
Or a shot. Look, I'm drawing a shot. See? You
Oh my
can't even
gosh.
tell which one's a marshmallow, which one's a shot. Look. Which one?
Which is it? Yeah. It's choice based on oh my god.
Oh, hey, Khalil. He said, what up,
What up, foot?
Daniel said, do it.
I know. I want to do
Christopher
it.
says, sweet blue Yeti.
Mm.
He said, what I miss.
Robert says,
Well-
and kept my mind value on my grind. There we go.
Yeah. And count my. You said it in reverse. And count my grind
Did
value
I?
on my mind. You did.
I'm so lit then.
He's so lit.
I'm so lit.
And by the way, if you give, you can do like if you want Jack to like just drink or something, or me to just drink, and then you want Jack to do the marshmallow, you can mix it up. You know.
How are we even gonna
One or the
know?
other.
Because if someone, they have to say that part too. They have to say it in the super chat.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Sounds
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll add that in there. Yes. Like so. Yeah. So basically, I mean, I kind of am curious about how that tastes, mixing a marshmallow with
This
1 million
death
Scoville
sauce?
hot sauce.
Yeah, that was hotter than the 9 and the 10, definitely.
Yeah.
It like gave me like heart palpitations.
I love it though. I'm all about that. But that's interesting though, right? Like in the market, right? Goods and products, you know, people often talk about, oh, you know, they make this joke, oh, without the government, you know, you would just go to a bar and then you'd all get alcohol poisoning. And it's like the most ridiculous thing, right? Like, who the heck, as a business owner, would stay in business if they gave stuff that made people sick and stuff like
You
that?
can also
Like,
look at the
it would not
prohibition
last.
era when alcohol was prohibited and people still had underground bars that were technically unregulated, unoverlooked at by the feds. There was no approvals, right? Because they were actually in hiding and disobeying. And you didn't have a massive amount of people dying from alcohol poisoning. You had a bunch of people partying underground and just
Right.
didn't have
Even in
alcohol.
Prohibition, right? People make quality stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not going to have more people, and you're going to have people who want to kill you
Right.
if you poison people. Like, this is not hard.
And you
Like-
actually have even more the incentive when what you're doing is, quote, legal or accepted by whatever governing body.
Right,
is
when it's on the
legal.
surface and people can actually
Because then you
communicate.
can be in the open,
Right.
and then you can actually report people who do something wrong for your business or people who
Right.
are providing a bad business.
Right.
Because you're not a criminal.
Yeah. So Garlic Gamer says, was that sauce worse or better than the ghost pepper? So this one is, like in that set when we did the hot sauce sets, this was our.
I think this is called ghost pepper.
Yeah, I think this
1
is the ghost
million.
pepper, but I think this
Yeah.
is the worst. Like out of all of
It
them, this was
was.
the strongest pepper. It would definitely
Yeah.
felt like 1 million Scoville plus level.
Yeah, John said Blair's
So if we eat
Ultra
that,
Death.
yeah.
John said Blair's Ultra Death Sauce is my favorite 1 million hot sauce. Ooh.
Gotta try that
I
out.
haven't tried that, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah, but it's wild. So Robert says, what stops bar owners from poisoning their booze now? Right. It's like, it's so ridiculous. It's like the government does not literally have
customers and customer backlash.
Right. Police.
And people not coming back and losing money. That's a strong incentive to not
Right.
be a dick.
Police do not like sit
Don't be a
there
dick.
and watch every single drink or food that's made. It's like people have this
they
like
don't,
wild
yeah.
imagination. They think that like in the back of a restaurant is a state agent who's like carefully
Just making
expecting
sure everything's going well.
every
and-
single meal.
And they're catching the
Right.
bad guy who's putting
before it
poop
happens.
in
It's
the
just
burger.
so stupid. Like people
Yeah.
come for like once a year inspections like randomly, but it's like there's no bearing on the day-to-day realities of the cleanliness of the food.
Here's another example too.
Yeah.
There's this guy on YouTube who, I forgot his name, but it's like travel something, and he has like a few million subscribers, and he goes around the whole world as some white dude, going around to all different kinds of places like rural Vietnamese villages, Cambodia, Thailand, going to market that are just on the boats by the villagers, going to, I forgot where he went. I think it was Madagascar, maybe, where they were just fishing and then preparing the food, and all they had was banana leaves, no utensils, just their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he ate it. And, well, I guess to my knowledge, I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get sick, or at least he didn't die, because I can at least say definitively he didn't die.
Right.
Because he continued making videos.
Right.
So there you have an example of, just that incentive without another party telling them and forcing them to do it, them just having that selfish individual desire to provide clean food.
Right.
for
I mean,
other
it's just
people
it's one of
or
those things that's
whatever.
like
Yeah.
completely insane when you think about it. Like it's like, okay, how is someone like the only way that someone's going to make money on hurting people is like by fraud, and that's like basically like a run and go thing, which the government doesn't stop as it is. If someone's going to be fraudulent or try to run a scam, like
The government frauds people
right,
themselves.
and that's true too. The government
They
frauds
make
people
comics,
majorly.
The Federal Reserve comics, for example,
Right.
that's fraud. That's saying, hey, it's really bad for you to counterfeit.
December 24th, or how it's said now, like when they make it say, oh, without us, you'll have all these crashes and banks will just go
The fraud is
have
the
runs.
lies.
Right, it's the
without
lies
us
that they're
controlling
like
interest rates, without
Right.
us printing money,
they
quantitative
create the
easing,
crashes.
You're gonna
Right.
have just unregulated capitalism, and you're gonna have these crazy booms and busts and long depressions. You need the state to step in, and that's been the dominant mindset, and that's a fraud. The quote American.
Well, I mean, fraud literally in the legal sense means someone makes a material misrepresentation of fact to induce an action from another. So I don't know that it's a fraud per se in what you're talking about, but it definitely. So someone said alcohol by definition is poison too. I mean, it's true. It's funny how in so many ways, and this is what I've seen too, because I own a tutoring company and I work with young people all the time. One of the things that I constantly come into and constantly see in government textbooks is that they'll often try to critique markets and they'll say, oh, it's unregulated and there's all these problems and there's market failures. But they never will frame it as government failures, right? So when it comes to statist indoctrination, they'll always frame it as the government's here as the savior to fix the market failures. But there's never any language in any of the microeconomic textbooks like AP Micro or like history or just survey of law. They never talk about things as government failures. They never say government failure. They'll say market failure, but they never say government failure. And that is one of the most telling ways that you could see how it's manipulating young people to think, oh, the market's just like bad and evil and people having freedom is just wrong. And the government comes in and saves people from these horrible things. And it's like, they've already been pre-indoctrinated and pre-driven to this conclusion that the government is the savior of their life. And it's really scary when you think about it. And I think what we're going to see in terms of young people in an unprecedented way is a wide push for government control that has been unparalleled in history because of how much manipulation has gone down in public schools.
That's true. The state being the provider for everything.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, soy anarcho-capitalist, like I am in Spanish. How would an anarcho-capitalist society defend itself against an invasion? So, this is an interesting concept, because if we're talking about like there's an anarcho-capitalist enclave, like a group of people who decided to get a territory, like free society or something like that, or seasteading, how would they defend themselves? It would be the same thing, that we would imagine of any type of government defense in terms of the actions, right? People are there's going to be an interest for people to defend themselves, regardless of states mandating it. People don't want to be stolen from. People don't want to be bombed. People don't want to like wake up and be like, oh, there's pirates stealing our stuff, right?
And you would have a bunch of competition in defense agencies as well.
Right, and you could have competition in defense agencies.
Like if you're someone who's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to pick up a gun. But there's going to be like so many companies that are like, hey, fund us. We're against this invasion, right?
Right.
Like we have the resources. We have the weapons. We'll take them on. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Send us your money. Like,
and even if not that, there's also the idea that if there was a specific anarcho-capitalist community, there would already be an opportunity for unified defense within that realm by through voluntary support, because
or decentralized defense,
or through decentralized defense. Of course, absolutely. There's definitely that as well.
They have rockets.
Right, absolutely. There's definitely the opportunity for people to use their own means, but I think that security is already market function and it literally exists even with the state. Private security outnumbers police in the world, right. And people already get ADT or private security to check their stuff. They get private they
get surveillance
systems. They have guns,
alert systems.
They have dogs. They have neighborhood watches. They join militias. I mean, this is something that already exists on a wide scale. Right. So it's something that I think.
Right. The only philosophies. Geography, it's not going to be the same. So you will have those factors, no different than any government who's being invaded by another government. I mean, look in the Middle East, like people are being rulers are being toppled over, and it's like you have like people trying to resist another government anyway. So you can have
right, and it's a good reminder too that like in the concepts of like the private production of defense that all of these things coalesce together naturally in people's desire to protect their stuff, and also businesses desire the people who are operating businesses desire to protect their goods. And I think I was even talking to somebody today, and they were trying to be like, "Oh, well, there could be free riders, and that's a problem." And people want to force people to pay for their security. It's just absolutely ridiculous because there's free riders now, and in addition to that, there's people who are self-interested to protect their individual goods, who are already willing to fund those things. And just because someone is tangentially helped, like if a shipping company catches a thief, that thief would have burglarized homes otherwise, it doesn't matter, to those other people, that the shipping company paid for it. You know what I mean? The shipping company is independently self-interested in stopping that from happening. So it's, you don't have to have this like issue of, oh, well, there's free riders and stuff. It's like, no, it's like people acting in a self-interested manner, following voluntarist norms, are already going to be providing that type of defense that will benefit other people. And it goes vice versa, whether someone stops a home burglar or whether someone stops a business burglar or someone stops a terrorist from stealing a truck to run into people. Like, again, these are all things that are already market demands with people wanting to protect their homes, protect their businesses and stuff. So, it's
and you can look at the compared to what? Wait, that already happens. There's already free riders and it's through force. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, hey, just because you're this race or you're, you don't have this amount of money coming in, well, therefore you're allowed to have money coming in from other people that we took from them by force. Like, suddenly that's okay, So.
Right.
I'm like fading. Anyway.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll hold it up. So someone said they'll buy nukes. It's so funny because
I do want to try the hot sauce, by the way. So
someone supports, so we can do the hot sauce part.
Refresh the campaign.
I'll refresh the campaign. I'm going to talk about nukes too. All right. So
okay.
The development of nuclear weapons, especially when you think about your uranium enrichment, that cost in modern day terms like $30 billion. $30
billion.
And it took about 100,000 personnel.
And what is the ROI on that? Right. Ask yourself, what is the ROI on that?
There's very little ROI. And so these massive weapons, like the funding the military industrial complex, literally is a product of mass theft and mass belief in statism. Because without that mass theft and without that mass belief, people would not be funding these weapons of war to literally mass murder people. There's no market
Can you imagine
incentive.
just like everyone's just trying to like, you know, they're just like, oh hey, here's some products to improve your life.
Yeah.
You come in with your commercial like, hey, there's these guys over there.
Yeah.
You know, they haven't invaded us. There's no intention to invade us or anything like that. They're just over there. We need to go over there and, you know, save them. We need to, like, send me some money. We're going to forcefully overthrow, you know, this dude or whatever. And then, like, take over and get the oil. Like, you wouldn't give people funding you.
Well, right. Like, I mean, generally speaking, like the amount of both the amount of money or resources that it requires and the amount of support that it requires, like just belief in the validity of your cause, would be overwhelming. And if
you said for nuclear arms it was $30 billion in today's
inflation adjusted,
prices. Yeah, inflation
right.
adjusted.
So you know, I mean, it's something that is
That's unthinkable.
unparalleled, right? And of course, there's been mass murder throughout history in terms of people raising armies. You know, Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, and other people who did mass conquerings and mass murders.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about, okay, what are the mechanisms that have created things that were unparalleled in the ability to just mass murder people? I mean, that is a product of statism in the state to focus on those resources and aggregate enough resources to do
forcible redistribution.
Right. Or just distribution to the state of those resources so that they can actually fund the research and the development of mass manufacturing those kinds of weapons. So it's kind of wild when you think about it. That these things, by and large, would not have found a meaningful market outcome. But of course, people should be free to have nukes or whatever, But it's just kind of like a silly, just kind of fun, thought concept that it just doesn't really exist. And you already have the anarchy of states where governments have nukes, but they, have mutually assured destruction. The mad concept of, okay, people could use that now, but people are going to end up dying in mass, and even the leaders will. So they're kind of nerve-wracked about using those kinds of weapons. It'd be very bad. So it's the same concept, even at the individual level. But basically, you don't really have those things being funded or produced or focused on without the state. Mass theft. Yeah.
I like what Robert on the YouTube chat said. Free market nukes is better than some jerk getting a jillion of them every 8 years. That's funny.
Right. No, it's true though. Like, people don't really think about that, but there's. But
I wonder, like, would nukes would there even be an incentive to create nukes in the first place in a free market society? Even if other governments in the world, like, even if they had knowledge that, this government over here, like, I don't know, Russia, they're creating nukes. Would an ANCAP society, would people in that society have any sort of incentive to spend their time and resources and wealth on advocating for creating nukes?
Well, that's the thing, is like, when you run the brass tacks on it, it's like, we're talking about something that is so impractical.
Okay, we create it, but who do we want to be responsible for literally, like, bombing some city where it's not just government or evil people, where there's probably going to be civilian casualties? Would that incentive exist in a free market society? Well,
right. I mean, there are incentives for people to, obviously, they want to rule others. They'll murder, they'll do whatever they can. But again, there's a wide gap between those who have those kind of machinations of grandeur and who want to murder people, and their technical ability to be able to orchestrate the development of a nuclear weapon. Right. And so that's the whole thing that has to be realized, that the amount of people and resources and belief in that mission requires something that is so almost supernatural to even believe in the first place, to get that much compliance. And that's where the state comes in, is that the belief and the acceptance of the state is that psychology that permits people on a mass scale to think, it's okay for me to, work toward this end and develop things that will, be used for mass murder, for, control. So it's really the psychology that underpins that, when you actually unwrap how it got to that in the first place. And then if you know, and a good buttress to that aspect is, you know, all the Nazi scientists who were brought over, you know, to the U.S. post World War II, you know, who worked on crazy stuff.
Yeah, the same government that said we need to go to war with these evil people and save the Jews. Well, let's just bring them all over. These evil people that we're fighting this war for, and you know.
Right.
All right. Well, one more shot. I do want to try. Okay. Let's see. Let's just refresh. Maybe if not, we can just try the marshmallow.
I don't know. No, we can hold out.
How much longer do you want to do?
I'll give it 10 more minutes. How about that? 10 more minutes before you try the hot sauce marshmallow. Oh my gosh.
So we got some sauce. I don't know if you can see YouTube. Oh, yeah, you can see. Ooh, it smells potent.
It does smell potent. I will try it too, but I'm going to probably cry again.
Yeah. Sweet. You know, it was really interesting doing that chicken feet challenge and how soft the cartilage got after a while from just being heated and boiled. We always talk about the nature of the state.
Definitely.
It's like once you notice, it's hard to unsee it. You know, you can't really unsee it. Like once you see the nature of
it's like the Matrix. It's like we were talking about the movie comparison before. Like so many people are plugged into the psychology of STEM. Yeah. And then once you start to actually see what...
Like, oh my gosh, they're all agents, you know?
Right, yeah.
And he's just like, oh, scary. I mean, that's just kind of like how it is now, like being a libertarian in this status world. You just want freedom. You just want individuals to be left alone, and you fundamentally have empathy for your fellow human beings.
Right.
Like your fellow non-violent human beings, at least, right? I don't really have empathy for murderers. For their childhood, sure, but not, or sympathy, but not, definitely not murder or rapists or anything. But, you know, in general, you just want people to live in peace.
Oh,
you know?
Here it is.
Oh,
enjoy the shot at Chubby, and please mention SoCalCBD.net. Okay. So
mentioned.
It already happened because Modern Renaissance Man, he's here. He said SoCal, SOCAL, CBD.net. So SoCalCBD.net. He said mention that. And
Article
we did
17.
a couple times. Article 17.
Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. So here it is. All right.
Ooh, yeah, we get to dip it.
We can wrap it out. We're going to do, because we can't do any more marshmallows or we're going to die.
Yeah.
Like, quite literally.
We're going to dip it in this hot sauce. Wait, aren't you going to dip it in the hot sauce?
Yeah, I am, but I'm going to do half.
Oh, look.
So we're going to dip it in hot sauce.
Hot sauce on both ends. See that?
We do a hot sauce. I don't even know. This is crazy.
Cheers.
Honestly, this is nuts.
Cheers.
So
you're getting so much.
Oh, I love hot sauce, so whatever. I don't care at this point.
Oh.
We're doing a marshmallow hot sauce. Okay, see, that's 1 million Scoville.
Don't get it on the mic.
1 million Scoville.
Oh, don't get it on the blue
I'm not getting it on the mic.
Okay, ready?
All right, you ready?
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, we can wrap it up with this.
Yum.
Ooh.
Hey, Jeff. I think Jeff got the super suit.
Oh. What do you mean you got the super suit? Oh, God.
Jeff on the, he's a top fan.
Oh,
he
God.
also, on Origins 3, he got the super suit. Or
the only person who's gotten a super suit is Chris.
Figure. I'm sorry, I think he got the figure.
Oh, he did? Okay, good.
I think.
We just did a hot sauce. Oh.
Only one.
Oh, sweet Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet God.
Oh, Bruce is so nice. Bruce from Facebook said,
oh.
Don't die, fam.
Whew.
We're fam. That's right. We're Liberty fam.
Oh, my gosh.
I want to meet you guys all at a Liberty event. I went to one recently, hosted by Tom Woods. And it was so cool. I met Arvin Vorhoff for the first time.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
I met John for the first time, Daniel Berman. Who else?
Whew.
Michael Pickens.
Jeff Payne said, I just made chili for a competition that's 2.5 million Scoville.
Whoa, that's
This is supposedly 1 million.
In Denver? Wow.
But I feel it. Oh.
Yeah, LP.
Oof. Whoo. Oh, man. All right, so Garv the Gamer says, how's it taste? It tastes like fire. It tastes hot. We did this before. We did the hot sauce challenge, and this was the one that was like the hottest. And I feel it. Honestly, it's kind of tasty, like the marshmallow mix with it, but it's still hot. I don't know if I'm going to cry this time. Last time I cried. This time, I don't think I'm going to cry. But I might.
We should tally up the end.
No, we'll do that later.
Oh, okay.
We got to focus on this.
And then,
Woo! All right.
that just said we have to do another
I feel like
shot.
my stomach.
Oh, no.
He said another shot too, right? So we got to finish off with it. I want to eat another one.
Oh, you like it?
I mean, it hurts, but it's a good hurt. Woo!
It hurt him from his mouth. It likes to hurt.
Oh, God. Oh, I mean, I'm just trying to push myself to the limit. Oh, I can't even see.
It's me, Voluntaryist.
Holy crap.
Here to save the day. My tongue's gone.
Oh.
What do you guys think of these glasses?
Wow.
No ghosts.
Okay, that's crazy. Honestly, like, my head's ringing.
Mario gave us the okay side. We must build...
Cahill says, where can I buy those Voluntaryist glasses? Okay.
Someone said we must build a tolerance for when Status use pepper spray.
That's true. So, Cahill, these are the prototypes. They're going to be in mass production soon. This was stage 4 of the prototyping.
No. I gotta get you water.
I got water. I'm going to need some crap. Whoa. So those prototypes are on their way. Oh gosh, Zach Lukowski.
Zach!
You can't do this. You can't do this, Zach.
Okay, we gotta end it.
Zach, no, man, no, dog. That was wrong.
No, dog.
That's wrong, man. That's wrong.
I feel like we're just going to a college party with Zach and he's hazing us.
We might as well. Like,
he's like, welcome to the club.
That'd be actually, I love that idea. Like, we could throw a huge, like, house crazy party. Like a voluntarist party with a huge kegger.
Raise your hand if you would come.
If you go to that.
Put an emoji.
Ooh.
Jeff said we have a ton of great fun places in Denver, Aurora. Oh, that's cool. Jeff said, dude, bread. Water won't help.
Water ain't
I
gonna
don't
help.
have bread.
You don't got bread. Y'all. Zach, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? This hurts. This really hurts. This really hurts.
Wait, up for it again? He didn't say what. Maybe he's talking about the alcohol.
Zach, what are we doing again?
Alcohol.
Please be alcohol. I don't even know anymore.
Zach said he would come. Garv the Gamer raised his hand. Oh, that's cool. We could play games. We got a lot of Wii games.
Dude. Oh, God.
I go to the ANCAP Ranger.
Zach, you gotta tell us. What
do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? Just tell us already so we can do it. If it's spice, we'll do it. Just tell us. Because seriously. Oh.
Alright, my tongue's numbing, and I'm okay.
Ooh.
Oh, you had 2. I mean, you should have had 2. It's like, as soon as you have the second one, Zach's like, I want to do it again.
Oh, he's a merciful God. Thank God. Okay, just alcohol. Thank you.
Guys, give
Cheers.
Zach a round of applause.
Zach is saving us.
Merciful.
Because I honestly didn't know what was going to happen. I was going to...
This is evidence that if there's one person
Thank
who
you, Zach
should
Lukowski.
be ruler, it should be Zach Lukowski, because he's a merciful God.
Oh,
are you okay?
Oh, yeah. No, that was heavy. Because I doubled that, and that was heavy. So thank you, everybody.
To you, buddy.
Cheers to you.
See you in the next live hangouts.
No, cheers to everybody. I got to list them off. If I can bring myself to consciousness to say it all.
Yeah, to everybody, I think.
Dude, that was heavy. Ooh. Okay. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to do it. Good.
Someone?
Thank you to all the people who supported today. And thank you, Brian, for your breaking the ice today. That was really... That was kick booty of you. Richard, thanks for that. Zach, thanks for coming through clutch multiple times. The Joshua Project. You're awesome. Mitch V came in clutch on that. Garv the Gamer, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, you came in for two rounds of them marshmallows.
He's gonna
Zach
come
Lukowski
to the
again and again. Zach Lukowski, I don't even know. What are we gonna do? When we come here, I'm gonna when you come here, I can't even think. It's so hot. Yeah, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you back. We're gonna get you.
back. We're gonna we should take it.
Thank you, Modern Renaissance Man with
Thank
SoCalCBD.net. So thank you. Yeah, plugging everything. Article 17 gone.
Copyright. The feds coming in.
Yeah, feds coming in. All right.
And we talked to
you take your shot?
Chelsea Manning was sent back to prison.
I know, Chelsea. That was so messed up.
They're so evil. I just.
And thank you, John. Thank you. Yep. Okay. I gotta do this because if we
Cheers.
don't. Oof.
Cheers, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. You are a merciful God.
Garvey Gamer. Yes, you're merciful.
I'm a Lakowskian.
Lord of the Liberty.
Instead of a Christian, I'm a Lakowskian.
Lakowskian. All right, here we go. Okay. Cheers to everybody else who's drinking with us and who's doing hot sauce. I don't even know what's going to happen after this. Oh, God. Oh.
Spicy?
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers to everybody. Cheers
Turn
for standing.
a fan on.
Cheers for standing for liberty, everybody. Thank you for and all y'all who are watching again. You're awesome. You're valuable. Don't discount your value.
You know, and
you're changing the world.
No matter what you do.
Seriously, no joke. No hyperbole.
Be it politics.
Yeah.
Be it living a quiet life.
Yeah.
With your family, your wife,
peaceful
your kids.
parenting, loving everybody.
Just be principled.
Be principled, please.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
Whether you go into politics, anything, be principled.
Although politics is very hard to be principled, obviously, because the state is.
Well, if you're funded
booty
by
trap.
theft.
Right, but basically, again,
I'm just saying,
people who are
to deregulate.
Right. Whether you're creative,
deregulation.
Whether you're just talking to your friends, whether you're just talking to your loved ones, girlfriend, boyfriend, friends of friends, your mailman, just keep doing what you're doing, everybody, because. Obviously, every little bit, and what you do matters. It seriously changes people's lives. And, my life was changed because someone decided to talk about it, to talk about the principles of liberty, and, obviously,
same here.
That's what it
Even
takes.
people in comments, like, I'd look at a video and I was like,
Thanks,
on the
Jeff.
fence, and I'd be like, what are people's opinions? And just hearing reason and evidence from different people was really helpful in helping me to become a voluntarist. So
right,
you make a difference no matter how small you think it is. Oh, okay.
All right,
I guess we'll end it on that.
I need to get something. Like I need something. I don't even know between that sake and that hot sauce.
Fight, change the minds of the masses, and
exactly.
or convince enough people to create a voluntarist enclave.
Right, exactly, and that's what it is. At the end of the day, we're all, if you're watching this, basically, we're all gonna be in this together when push comes to shove. Because, as you've already seen across the world with very totalitarian regimes in China and stuff like that, the governments are gonna be pushing to silence everybody like us.
Literally enslave everybody.
Literally
and it brings us back to the Voluntarist comic series.
We're trying to change enough culture.
It says Voluntarist, humanity's last stand against government.
Right. It's
true.
It is. Voluntarist, the comic series, is actually, although it's, it is meant to be fictional, it's meant to be actually kind of parallel what's happening in the real world, because it is the last stand. We are in that.
Like old iPhone because government's taken over,
Yeah.
And let's be in a world where there's prosperity, where there's common respect of property rights and peace and love.
Yeah. We go Rangers like, don't go and let's do a ranger here in Florida. I don't even know what's a ranger.
What's a ranger?
I don't even know. He's going to have to do another one just to say what a ranger is. But
Go mama.
No, I mean, obviously it's
Oh, don't go this week.
Yeah.
Do a ranger go to the range?
Maybe he means rager.
Oh, maybe a rager.
Maybe he meant rager.
What's a rager? Rage party?
So rager, basically, you have a huge party, you got multiple kegs and music, and people going crazy. I would love to, honestly. We were toying with this in the past. We were thinking about creating a fuck-on, basically to have a Liberty fun, right? A Liberty.
I know
event.
Zach would. Oh, look at the hands! I love it. Oh, all the hands.
Right, I think you meant rager.
I didn't say
rager.
That.
So it's that would be a lot of fun to actually have. I want a Liberty event where it's more about just having fun, relaxing, talking about whatever.
There's so many conferences, and I think they're valuable.
Right, they're valuable.
But
we're
going to Mises U.
Oh yeah.
This year, that's going to be fun, and it's very intellectual and stimulating.
Right.
But there are times where look, guys, we're fighting the state every day.
Right.
Let's just enjoy each other's company, at least for a night, and just have fun. And I want a convention that's more focused on getting to know each other, having good conversations. You can have the intellectual conversations, but it doesn't have to be like, okay, let's make sure we have 5 speakers lined up.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
it can just be, hey, we're just going to have drinks and food, and we're just going to hang.
Right, exactly. Just
And we're
like
gonna have
having
some
good
music.
conversation, have some food, just
We'll have some
sharing
background
ideas.
entertainment.
Right.
Fatty Garcia will
Yeah.
be there. If we can get Eric
Yeah.
live backwards, that'll be cool. Free Knots will be there.
Yeah. So so Go
Race
Mama
Raposa.
is John Look, so he said he definitely would. So exactly. So
Yay!
definitely we'll
Oh, that's John.
yeah. So we'll definitely
love
think
it.
about what we can do to make an event like that. Obviously, the issue there is getting a good venue, getting something that is safe and secure, that we can have a good time and not have to worry about them statists trying to mess with us. Them statists.
You know who's good at organizing events?
Yeah.
The events that I've been to that have been some of the funnest that I've ever been
Yeah.
was both of the Tom Woods events that I've ever been to, where Tom Woods hosted it. The Tom Woods 1000
those were fun. Those were fun.
podcast. And then the recent OPF, that was really cool.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, Tom Woods hosts some fun events, but we want to do that, but on a next level of like actually just having a good time, having some good food.
No schedule. No waking up at 7 a.m.
Oh gosh, no 7 a.m.s. No, please.
No
Sleep
7
in,
a.m..
go hang out, lounge at the pool, talk about
wake up
liberty,
with
talk about
the sun.
progress. Yeah.
We sleep after the sun goes down.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's definitely down the road. We can make something like that happen. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna head on out.
Yeah. Thank you,
Because
guys.
honestly, any more marshmallows or hot sauce, and I'm gonna be dead. So literally, quite literally. So I can't do anymore. All right.
You're awesome, everybody.
Yeah, everybody here, thank you so
John,
much,
Zach,
everybody.
Beto.
Seriously.
Amy.
All right, take care, everybody. Have a good night. We're gonna cut the stream.